High temperature apocalypse. The beautiful neighbor's wife knocks on my door. Chapter 1. The female neighbor knocks on the wrong door. Wait, where's my husband? The beautiful female neighbor, drunk out of her mind, knocked on the wrong door. So, kind-hearted Yang Shao carried her back to his bedroom and took care of her with meticulous attention all night. This woman is a crazy one, no good, better send her away quickly. Thinking about the mess this woman had caused last night, Yang Shao shuddered. As soon as it was dawn, when there were fewer people around, he quickly cleaned up after her and was about to send her back to her own doorstep. Unfortunately, the female neighbor woke up. Her face was cold as frost, her teeth clenched tightly, and her eyes were filled with towering rage and hatred as she glared at Yang Shao. "You beast, I'm going to call the police and have you arrested." Although she had been drunk, her mind was still clear. She remembered everything that happened last night. She had wanted to resist, had clearly said no, but her body had its own ideas. Seeing her deny everything and accuse him, Yang Shao wasn't pleased at all. "Go ahead, who's afraid of who? Anyway, there are cameras in my house. You were the one who knocked on my door last night and shamelessly clung to me, forcing yourself on me. If anyone should be calling the police, it should be me. You bastard." The female neighbor was so angry her face turned crimson, her body trembling with rage, wishing she could bite this bastard to death. Then, she remembered. Last night, in order to secure a big deal, she had gone out to dinner with a client, only to be drugged. Luckily, the restaurant wasn't far from home. As soon as she regained some clarity, she excused herself to go to the bathroom and took a taxi to escape. But she never imagined that, in her dazed state, she had knocked on the wrong door and ended up at this bastard's place. Seeing the female neighbor speechless, Yang Shao smirked, looking quite pleased with himself. "Well, do you want me to help you call the police?" "Shut up. I warn you, you'd better keep this to yourself, pretend I was never here last night, or I'll make you pay. Hey, how about giving me some compensation? After all, I made quite an effort last night." "You bastard, go die." The female neighbor was so furious her chest heaved, her small fists clenched tightly as she stormed out, full of murderous intent. Fortunately, her husband was away on a business trip, or there would be no way she could clear her name, even if she jumped into the Yellow River. Yang Shao sneered, showing no respect. "TCH, anyone can talk tough. If you have the guts, don't beg for mercy next time." But then again, while this woman had a bad temper, she was quite beautiful, with a graceful presence, and a fantastic figure. Her curves and chest were enough to leave a lingering impression. But now wasn't the time to discuss women. Yang Shao had more important matters to deal with. The extreme heat apocalypse is just over 2 months away, I need to prepare as quickly as possible. Indeed, Yang Shao was a reincarnated person who had returned with a special space ability. In his past life, he only survived 3 years under the extreme heat, unable to see any hope. Eventually, he had enough of that life and incited a large group of refugees to storm a rich people's base, burning, killing, and looting. He was the first to break into a warehouse of supplies, charging at the food like a hungry dog, gulping down water and food. But then, a hired thug arrived and cracked his skull with an iron rod, successfully ending his life as a bloated dead man. In the afternoon, he drove to the lottery store. Yesterday, he secretly met with a high-ranking official. Using evidence of his massive embezzlement and threatening the lives of his entire family, he forced the official to open a backdoor for him. As expected, he won, with a post-tax payout of 220 million yuan. As soon as the prize money was credited, representatives from various charities immediately came running, asking for donations. A young man in a suit and tie spoke in a tone that left no room for doubt. "Hello, I'm from the Children's Charity. You've just won 220 million, so donating 200 million shouldn't be too much, right? Keeping just 20 million will be enough for you to live a luxurious life forever." Yang Shao wasn't in the mood to indulge him and immediately snapped back, "Hey, are you an idiot? Donate money to you guys so you can use my funds to sleep with young, beautiful mothers. Do you think I'm stupid? If there is such a good deal, I'd go for it myself." With that, he turned and walked away, not wanting to spend another second with these well-dressed, self-righteous, heartless scoundrels. After dealing with a group of shameless people, a large number of bank relationship managers surrounded him, batting their eyelashes, trying to get him to deposit money. As is well known, most bank relationship managers are experienced women, young, attractive, well-dressed, skilled in flirting, and with charming voices. Most men would find it hard to resist. But after last night's encounter with a stunning female neighbor, Yang Shao had no interest in these ordinary, superficial women. What's more, he hadn't recovered his energy yet. If he had to choose, he'd pick a bank with a stunning woman, and coincidentally, there was indeed a strikingly beautiful bank manager among them. Miss, I'm quite interested in your bank's favorable policies. How about we find a place later to discuss things in depth? Sure, Mr. Yang. Here's my business card. Let's contact each other tonight. As she handed him the card, the manager took the opportunity to scratch his hand and threw him a flirtatious wink, smiling like a cunning fox. Yang Shao glanced at the business card and saw that her name was by Jie, which made him smile knowingly. After leaving the lottery prize center, he immediately drove to the antique street. According to his memories from his previous life, someone would discover a genuine work by Wu Daozi there tomorrow, which would be auctioned off for 300 million. This opportunity was his to take. He arrived at a street vendor stall where the owner was an old man with shifty eyes who didn't seem trustworthy. But the painting was right there, and Yang Shao spotted it immediately. To avoid arousing the vendor's suspicion, he acted nonchalant and said, "Boss, I'll take 10 fake paintings." Upon hearing this, the owner immediately looked displeased. "Hey, young man, what are you talking about? Everything I sell is authentic, where would I have fake paintings?" Yang Shao gave him a disdainful glance and said, "We're all adults, let's stop with these pointless words. To be honest, I'm renovating my house in an ancient style, so I need to buy some replicas to decorate. Authenticity doesn't matter, as long as they look good. If you're not selling, I'll just go to the print shop." Hearing this, the owner's lips twitched slightly, then he sighed in resignation. All right, I see you're being honest with me. I won't rip you off. The paintings behind me are all aged. If you're buying a lot, you can have them for 20,000 each. Boss, that's not fair. How about this, 500 per painting, and I'll take 10. If that works, just nod. If not, I'll go to the print shop. Seeing that there was no room for negotiation, the owner thought for a moment and nodded in agreement. He hadn't made any sales today, so making 5,000 wasn't bad, especially since the cost was less than 200 yuan per painting. After the transaction was settled, Yang Shao turned and left without a second glance. Next, he headed to the largest antique store and took out the genuine painting. The owner was a knowledgeable but unscrupulous businessman who thought the young man could easily be fooled and offered him 50,000 yuan for it. But Yang Shao extended 3 fingers and said, 300 million. Not a penny less. The owner, realizing he was dealing with an expert, awkwardly chuckled, "Hey, I didn't expect you to be such an expert. In that case, I'll offer you a fair price 250 million, since we have to bear the risk. If it doesn't sell, we'll be stuck with it." Yang Shao thought it over and found the reasoning reasonable. If he took it to auction, the fees would be over 10 million, and he'd have to wait. He didn't have that kind of time, so he said, "Flat price, 280 million. Let's call it a deal. If you have good stuff in the future, I'll sell it to you." The owner pondered for a moment, then smiled and agreed. Although the purchase price was a bit high, as long as it was handled properly, he could still make a small profit. Chapter 2, Buy One Get One Free. That evening, Yang Shao followed the address Bai Jie had sent him and drove to a 5-star hotel. Bai Jie had already been waiting at the entrance. As soon as she saw him, she enthusiastically walked over and hooked her arm around his. "Mr. Yang, you're finally here. I've been waiting for you." She had put extra effort into her appearance today, her makeup more refined and stunning. The scent of her perfume was neither too strong nor too faint, just perfect, making one feel irresistibly drawn to her. Her long, wavy hair cascaded down like waves, paired with black stockings, a short skirt, and high heels, ensuring that she turned heads wherever she went. "Hey, sorry, there was traffic on the road, it took a bit longer than expected," Yang Shao said with a slight smile. They entered the private room, ordered a few dishes, and began exchanging toasts. As Bai Jie got more tipsy, she kept intentionally brushing against Yang Shao. The combination of alcohol and her perfume made her charm even more captivating. Seeing that the atmosphere was right, Bai Jie looped her arm around Yang Shao's and gave him a flirtatious smile. "Mr. Yang, I think I might be drunk. The room upstairs is ready. Could you help me up to rest?" "Sure," he replied. A beautiful woman offering herself on a silver platter. Who wouldn't he take the opportunity? He was hardly a saint. As the two of them were enjoying their lively conversation, Bai Jia's phone rang. Tilder, it's my boyfriend. Bai Jia was calm, multitasking, and speaking without skipping a beat. After a while, Bai Jia seemed in a rush and quickly told her boyfriend, "Honey, I have to go. I'll hang up now." Then. "Sorry, that was rude." Bai Jia flashed an apologetic smile at Yang Shao. "It's fine. Let us continue talking about the deposit," Yang Shao said. After 2 hours of in-depth communication, Yang Shao was very satisfied with Bai Jia's service and decided to deposit 20 million to support her work. The next morning, Yang Shao went to the sales office, intending to buy the last villa in the neighborhood. This villa was the most expensive in the area, priced at 58.88 million yuan. It covered 2,000 square meters, with 3 floors above ground and 2 underground. It had a garden, a swimming pool, and luxurious decorations, ready for immediate move-in. The sales representative was a very beautiful woman with an outstanding figure. She seemed quite familiar. She scrutinized him for a moment and then said in surprise, "You must be one of the residents in our community. I think I've seen you before." Yang Shao nodded. "Yes, I'm Yang Shao, I live in Building 1. What a coincidence. I also live in Building 1. Hello, I'm Su Rui." "Nice name," Yang Shao gave her a meaningful smile. "Thank you for the compliment. By the way, are you planning to buy a house?" Su Rui clearly picked up on his implication and smoothly steered the conversation back on track. Yang Shao nodded and casually replied, "Yes, I'm looking to buy a villa." Su Rui covered her mouth in surprise. "You're not joking, are you?" "No, I'm not. Our community only has one villa left, and it's the most luxurious one. It's priced at 58.88 million. Many people think it's too expensive, so it's been sitting vacant. Are you sure you want to buy it?" Su Rui eyed him with suspicion. From what she knew, Yang Shao's apartment was probably rented, and he seem like a rich person. How could he afford a villa? Yang Shao smiled and didn't he explain. Instead, he logged into his mobile banking app and showed her his balance. 500 million yuan. Su Rui was stunned. When she looked at Yang Shao again, her eyes were full of admiration and warmth, and her attitude became much more respectful and enthusiastic. This was the power of money. Yang Shao smiled slightly and asked, "Is there still a problem?" "No, no problem. I'm sorry, I just didn't recognize you earlier. I hope Mr. Yang won't mind." No worries. Let us go take a look at the property." "Of course, Mr. Yang." Su Rui was so excited that she quickly grabbed the keys and led Yang Shao to the villa. The villa was built on a small hill, with a clever structure that seemed to be embedded into the landscape. The interior was lavish and grand. Su Rui eagerly showed Yang Shao around the property, both inside and out. With an expectant look, she asked, "Mr. Yang, what do you think? Are you satisfied with the villa?" Yang Shao nodded. "It is a bit expensive, but it's really nice." Su Rui was pleased. "If you really want to buy it, I can help you negotiate a discount." Yang Shao looked at her and gave a knowing smile. "I'm not so concerned about the discount, but I'd like to test the mattress for its comfort and elasticity. Do you have a solution for that?" Su Rui froze for a moment, then quickly understood what he meant. Her face turned a little awkward. Well, you can test it with your girlfriend. I'm sure you'll be satisfied." Yang Shao shook his head. "I'd love to, but unfortunately, I'm still single, and I can't test it alone. If only Miss Su was single." Mr. Yang is joking. I'm already married, so you." Before she could refuse, Yang Shao interrupted her and asked, "How big of a discount can you get?" "Well, I could probably get you a 2% discount, about 9.8% off. Here's the deal, I'll buy the house at the original price, but any discount goes to you, as long as you're willing to test the mattress's comfort with me. How does that sound?" But. Su Rui hesitated, calculating the pros and cons in her head. If she could manage a 9.8% discount, that would be around 1.8 million yuan. If she pushed harder and got 9.6%, that would be 2.35 million. Plus the commission from selling the house, she could make almost 3 million yuan. This was a huge sum of money. It was hard not to be tempted. It was just testing the mattress, after all. This was an easy win. Why not? Though she might feel guilty towards her husband, she was doing this to help her family live a better life. What was wrong with that? Didn't her husband sneak around behind her back? She didn't believe it. After a brief internal debate, she successfully convinced herself and looked at Yang Shao with eyes full of affection. But, how can I trust you? What if you back out later? Yang Shao smiled, I can give you a 100,000 yuan deposit. If I change my mind, it's yours. Really? But you need to make it clear that this money is a voluntary gift, or else I won't accept it. Of course. Yang Shao happily transferred the 100,000 yuan and specified that it was a voluntary gift. After receiving the money, Su Rui was thrilled. She immediately rushed into his arms, hugging him tightly with a shy expression, and said, Good brother, I'm yours today. Let us properly test the mattress comfort together. Let us get started. Here is the English translation of the text you provided. Chapter 2, Buy One Get One Free. An hour later, the results of the test were out, and Yang Shao was very satisfied with the comfort of the mattress. Su Rui, reliving the intense moments from earlier, had a look of love in her eyes. Her mindset had undergone a huge transformation, from treating it as a mere game to genuinely falling into it and being unable to stop. Mr. Yang, you're really amazing. That was the truth for better than her husband by a long shot. Still calling me Mr. Yang. You're so annoying, Shao Ji. Har ha har har. Having successfully won over one, Yang Shao was pleased. Let's clean up and head to the signing. Okay, Shao Ji. Su Rui excitedly jumped up, heading to the vanity to fix her makeup. Yang Shao, feeling a bit unsatisfied, hugged her from behind. His warm breath blew against her ear, making her restless. Annoying, stop fooling around, I'm doing my makeup. But I still. Su Rui turned around to block his lips. Behave, after we sign the house contract, I'll come back to take care of the formalities with you. All right. With that, the two of them returned to the sales office and successfully signed the contract. After Su Rui's persistent effort, she managed to secure a 9.6% discount, making a big profit. Although Yang Shao wasn't short on money, he didn't want the developers to get an advantage, so he paid the 18.88 million down payment and secured the deal. As for the remaining mortgage, even if he only paid one installment after the apocalypse, it would still be an insult to the developers. Afterward, Su Rui accompanied Yang Shao back to their villa to handle some follow-up paperwork. After a bit more intimate interaction, Su Rui left satisfied and went back to work. Yang Shao immediately contacted a renovation company to turn the villa into an apocalypse fortress and asked them to come up with a design plan. Soon, the head of the renovation company and the designer arrived. Their head was a middle-aged man, but the designer was a familiar face, the beautiful female neighbor who had knocked on his door by mistake. When Yang Shao saw her, he smiled knowingly, his lips curling up. Hello, Mr. Yang. I'm Wang, here's my business card. This is Liu Ruyan, our company's chief designer. She specializes in designing apocalypse fortresses, so I brought her along. Oh, so it's Ruyan Dad, long time no see. There are two unspoken rules in the world. First, the woman who holds a place in your heart is untouchable. It's better to find a sister who is grounded. Second, Liu Ruyan is best as a second-hand model. Her first marriage was likely just a stepping stone for her success. So now, getting a second-hand Liu Ruyan should bring good luck, right? HMPH. Liu Ruyan turned her head away, her teeth grinding in frustration. The head of the company, noticing the tension, scolded, Ruyan, what's wrong with you? Yang Shao smiled, no need to mind, Mr. Wang. We're neighbors, so we know each other well. So that's how it is. Har har, well, since you two are familiar, things will be much easier. Mr. Yang, whatever you need, just tell Ruyan, she'll make sure to accommodate you. Millimeter. Yang Shao nodded and stated his requirements. The fortress must be heat resistant, able to withstand 70-80 degrees Celsius. It must be tough, the kind of place that not even a tank could break through. There must be a full power generation system, including a generator and solar panels. The walls must be taller and reinforced, with high-voltage electric fences and a lot of rusty spikes welded onto them. A deep well must be drilled, the deeper the better, preferably to the pressure layer. Liu Ruyan put aside her personal grievances and took notes on his requirements. After calculating, Liu Ruyan gave her quote, "Your requirements are very high, the project is large, and it will take 6 months to complete. The total cost will be 120 million. Yang Shao shook his head, "No, I'll give you 2 months at most. Then it will cost more, at least 150 million. Fine, I can pay 50 million as a deposit first. But you must guarantee that the project will be completed on time and with good quality, or I won't honor the deal." Mr. Wang quickly smiled and said, "Don't worry, Mr. Yang, we will make sure it's done on time and with quality." With that, both sides signed the contract, and the deposit was paid. The head of the company stood up to leave, but before he left, he gave Liu Ruyan a meaningful look and said, "Ruyan, the company doesn't have much work right now, why don't you stay and see if Mr. Yang has any more needs?" This, all right. Liu Ruyan had intended to refuse, but thinking about how Yang Shao was now her biggest client, she couldn't turn him down. He, not bad, young man has a bright future. I have high hopes for you." After Mr. Wang left, only Yang Shao and Liu Ruyan were left in the room. Yang Shao looked her up and down, smiling widely. "Ruyan Dad, would you do me the honor of having a drink with me?" "You, HMPH." Liu Ruyan gritted her teeth in frustration, her mind constantly telling herself to stay calm. This was a big client. "I'm holding back." Mr. Yang is joking. "It's my honor to have a drink with you." With that, Yang Shao opened a bottle of red wine, ordered some small dishes, and they sat down to drink and chat. After a few rounds, Liu Ruyan's cheeks flushed slightly, clearly tipsy. Perhaps it was the charm of money, but Liu Ruyan's feelings toward Yang Shao improved, turning from hatred to indifference. "Who would have thought you were so rich at such a young age? Do you have a mine at home?" Yang Shao smiled, "No, I'm just the son of an ordinary family." "TCH, if you're not willing to say it, fine." Liu Ruyan rolled her eyes and continued drinking. Yang Shao suddenly asked, "Where's your husband?" Hearing this question, Liu Ruyan immediately recalled what happened the night before and exploded. "Bastard, don't mention that again." I just asked casually, why are you so worked up?" Yang Shao was confused. Wasn't she the one who kept asking about her husband the night before? Now he was just casually asking, and she was reacting so strongly. HMPH. Liu Ruyan shot him a glare. "My husband's on a business trip and won't be back until the day after tomorrow." Yang Shao raised an eyebrow. "Oh? So you still have 2 nights of freedom? What do you mean by that?" Liu Ruyan's gaze narrowed, her killing intent clear. Cough, nothing. What I meant is, since you're the chief designer for my home's renovation, shouldn't you stay here for a couple of days to personally experience what needs to be improved? Pervert, stop with your dirty thoughts. Liu Ruyan blushed again as she recalled the previous night, gnashing her teeth in anger. Yang Shao blushed too. "Look at what you're saying. I'm not trying to take advantage of you. I just want you to work better." Well, thank you. Thank you for making me work after I've already gone home for the day. Liu Ruyan's eyes looked like she was going to eat him alive. It was terrifying. Yang Shao shrugged. "All right, since you've said so, I won't force you." HMPH, good for you for understanding. Liu Ruyan lifted her chin proudly, a look of smugness on her face. Chapter 3, The Financial Prodigy. That night, in the master bedroom of the villa, Yang Shao opened Daobao on his computer, browsing products while making notes. There were so many things to prepare for the apocalypse, and his mind was a bit chaotic, so he decided to browse the online shopping platform. Whatever caught his eye, he would note it down, helping him avoid missing anything. At that moment, the doorbell rang, and to his surprise, it was Liu Ruyan, also known as D. Yang Shao was stunned, caught off guard and frozen for a moment. Liu Ruyan shot him a sharp look and said, "Aren't you going to open the door and let me in? Do you want everyone in the neighborhood to see me coming to your house at night?" Sorry. Please, come in." Yang Shao quickly opened the door for her and peered outside to check if anyone was following. Once he confirmed there was no one, he closed the door. "What brings you here?" HMPH, didn't you ask me to personally experience the living conditions of the villa, so I could improve the renovation plan? Liu Ruyan responded arrogantly, but her heart was racing. She tried to act calm as she went to the fridge to grab a drink. She originally wanted milk, but when she saw the cocktails, she changed her mind, thinking it would help her gather courage. The truth was, she couldn't forget about Yang Shao, and that's why she had the nerve to come over. Even though she had been yelling at him that morning, after reflecting on it back home, she realized the experience was thrilling, and it stayed with her. For the past couple of days, her mind had been consumed with thoughts of him, leaving her restless. Moreover, her husband had severely overdrawn his health, and the doctor had said he would need at least 5 to 6 years of rest to recover, or else he would be permanently incapacitated. As a result, her husband hadn't touched her for half a year and had even deliberately gone on a business trip out of town to avoid her. That thought made her angry, so in a fit of frustration, she came to find Yang Shao. "Well, aren't you going to welcome me?" "Heh, of course, I welcome you. I almost want to sweep the floor and greet you." "HMPH, you talk too much." Liu Ruyan shot him a flirtatious glance. "Cough, you can pick a room to rest in. I have some work to do." Yang Shao feigned innocence, his face turning red as he slipped back to his room. But he didn't lock the door after all, he had to give her an opportunity, right? Just as he accidentally stumbled onto an adult products page, a fragrant breeze blew behind him. Their empress pressed herself against his back and whispered in his ear. "Why are you browsing this stuff? Can't you see this beautiful woman right here?" "Heh, I was just worried you'd call the police on me. According to you, I'm offering myself to you, so what are you afraid of?" He, of course, I'm afraid you'll beg for mercy." Yang Shao quickly turned around and pulled her into his arms. The first rays of morning sunlight filtered into the room, and the battle resumed until well after noon. Since his rebirth, Yang Shao felt like he had endless energy, growing stronger with each round. Had Liu Ruyan not begged for mercy, he would never have agreed to end their battle. Liu Ruyan glanced at the time and realized she was about to be late for work. She panicked, but her body was completely exhausted, and she couldn't move. She had no choice but to call in sick. Strangely, her boss didn't ask any questions, just happily approved her leave and told her to rest well, which left Liu Ruyan confused. However, she didn't have time to think about it. All she wanted was a good sleep. Yang Shao made breakfast and left a note for Liu Ruyan before heading out. He was a big tea lover, so he planned to go to the tea market to buy 10 to 8 tons of tea. Xinjiang Tea, his usual stop. The owner, Wang, was from the tea province, and his family had been making tea for 3 generations. His self-roasted black tea was exceptional, and the prices were very reasonable. Wang had traveled all over in his youth, which made him very talkative. He could chat about anything for hours. That's why Yang Shao often went to the shop to pass time, sometimes sitting for hours. This morning, Yang Shao arrived early, and there were few customers at the tea market, so the shop was relatively empty. He was an old customer, so he didn't need any greeting. He sat down, boiled water, and brewed his own tea. After Wang finished cleaning, he sat down next to him with a smile and asked, "Mr. Yang, you're early today." I've come to deliver money to you this early." Har, then I thank you in advance." Wang was thrilled to hear there was business, and he poured Yang Shao a cup of tea. "What would you like to buy today, Mr. Yang?" Yang Shao lightly tapped the table and said, "Word by word, I want all your top quality teas, including Jingshan Xiaozhong, Jin Junmai, Wild Black Tea, Tai Guanyin, Lao Banjiang, and anything else up to par. I'll take everything that's left." Wang was stunned, swallowing nervously, then grinned. "Mr. Yang, are you joking with me? Do I look like I'm joking? Give me your account number, and I'll transfer the money directly." Har. "Well, I suppose it does seem serious." Wang thought Yang Shao was just messing with him, but still honestly gave him his account number. Yang Shao immediately transferred 10 million to his account. "Get me 10 tons of good tea, no matter how you do it, but have it ready within 2 months. At this point, Wang was stunned, almost going into shock. "Mr. Yang, are you working on some big project? My heart can't handle this." "Stop it, just tell me if you can do it." Har, yes, of course, I can do it. Don't worry, I'll get you the best tea." Wang had nearly 2 tons of premium tea in stock already, and since he had friends in the business, gathering 10 tons would be easy. As they were chatting happily, a graceful figure walked in. It was a young woman, very beautiful, dressed in professional attire, with a tall and curvy figure. She looked like a recently graduated campus beauty. Yang Shao thought she was probably here to sell insurance, but it turned out she was in commodity investment, mainly dealing with international crude oil, though she also handled gold, silver, and other precious metals. Such salespeople were common, and Wang had long become immune to them, waving them away. But the girl wasn't bothered. She handed them her business card, keeping a warm smile on her face. Yang Shao glanced at the card and was slightly surprised. Xie Yubing? She quickly responded, yes, that's my name. If you're interested in crude oil investments, feel free to contact me anytime. Yang Shao pointed to a nearby chair. Have a seat. Although he was certainly interested in her beauty, there was another reason for his attention. She was a potential gold mine. He remembered in his past life that a financial prodigy named Xie Yubing had incredible market perception and judgment, which allowed her to profit nearly 100-fold for her clients in just 1 month by seizing a few major market opportunities. The event made headlines, and Xie Yubing became a hot figure in the industry. Chapter 4, Unfortunately, there won't be a next time. Yang Shao asked for more information and confirmed that this Summer Yubing was indeed the same Summer Yubing he remembered. A smile spread across his face, as wide as a lotus blossom. This girl was a money tree. If he could make a fortune with her before the apocalypse, he could stockpile even more supplies. Did you just graduate this year? Yeah. Sorry to make you laugh, Yang Ji. It's fine. Everyone starts out as a rookie. I do have some spare cash, and I want to make an investment. But I don't really understand bulk commodity trading. Could you explain it to me? Of course, no problem. Summer Yubing eagerly nodded, clearly confident in her expertise. She spoke fluently, explaining complex concepts that sounded impressive but left Yang Shao's head buzzing. Eventually, his passive skill was triggered. Can't take it in? All right, I get the gist. It's basically buy low, sell high. You predict market trends and suggest buying or selling at the right time, right? Summer Yubing nodded. Yes, exactly. All right, I'll invest 100 million. What? What did you say? 100 million. 100 million. I want to see your ability. Bro, are you serious? Yang Shao nodded. Summer Yubing was so excited that her face flushed, her body trembling. That amount of investment would earn her millions in commission alone, not to mention the rebates from every trade. The potential earnings were enormous. This handsome guy was practically her savior. Boss Wang, who had been listening, chuckled and reminded, buddy, stay calm. Don't let beauty cloud your judgment. Yang Shao rolled his eyes. Don't worry, I'm very clear-headed right now. By the way, do you want to invest too? You never know, we might make a profit. Boss Wang thought Yang Shao was only interested in the girl's beauty, so to avoid embarrassing him in front of her, especially after Yang Shao had just made a huge deposit, he agreed to invest 100,000 as a token gesture. After lunch, the three of them went to Summer Yubing's company to sign the contract and open the accounts. To show her gratitude, Summer Yubing decided to treat them to dinner that night. Boss Wang, being considerate, didn't want to be a third wheel, so he bowed out. In the private room, only Summer Yubing and Yang Shao remained. She was so happy that she drank a little more than usual. Yang Ji, thank you so much for your support. I don't even know how to repay you, she said, her voice sweet. Yang Shao smiled. It's nothing. Just don't lose my money. Summer Yubing smiled playfully, breathing softly into his ear. What if I do lose it? Yang Shao responded seriously, then you'll have to sell yourself to pay off the debt. I'm actually looking for a little maid. Summer Yubing giggled, her laughter enchanting and captivating. After a few drinks, Yang Shao called for a driver and first dropped Summer Yubing off at her place, before heading back to his own home. As soon as he stepped inside, he saw Liu Ruyan, dressed in a bathrobe, lounging on the sofa like the lady of the house, watching TV. Her fair skin, beautiful face, and long legs in a seductive posture immediately caught his eye. I thought you were going to be out partying all night, she said with a teasing smile. Of course not. I'm not that kind of person. By the way, what are you doing here? Yang Shao asked. Liu Ruyan glared at him, pouting. HMPH, if I'm bothering you, I'll leave right now. She pretended to get up and leave. Hey. How could I possibly mind? I've been thinking about you all day. I actually wish you'd stay here forever. Yang Shao said, grinning as he pulled her into an embrace, proving he was sincere. The next morning, most of the materials for the renovations were ready, and the construction began. Yang Shao temporarily moved back to the rented house, while Liu Ruyan returned to her own home. Unfortunately, her husband had just returned from a business trip, making it inconvenient for her to see Yang Shao, which frustrated her. She finally found an excuse to call him, but the line was busy. What she didn't know was that Yang Shao was being pursued by another little vixen. Summer Yubing, knowing that Yang Shao was her big client, often kept him on the phone for hours. They occasionally talked about business, but most of the time, their conversations felt more like a couple's affectionate chats. Her plan was simple: take the plunge, win big and become famous, or lose and end up serving Yang Shao. Either way, she wouldn't lose. Yang Shao's mindset was even simpler: why choose? I'll have both the profits and the beauties. The biggest problem in the post-apocalyptic world was the water shortage. Rivers dried up, the earth cracked, and crops failed. So from now on, Yang Shao began stockpiling purified water in bulk. Buying bottled water was a waste of money because each barrel required a 50 yuan deposit. Instead, he took over a purified water plant and started producing water non-stop with a team working around the clock. At the same time, he bought an ice factory and had workers make ice day and night. 2 days later, everything at home was sorted, and Yang Shao said goodbye to the beautiful women before boarding a flight abroad. He was going to buy a batch of weapons, so he contacted an intermediary to take him to Peshawar. It wasn't long before he met the weapons dealer and placed an order for 10,000 AK-47s and 10 million bullets. The dealer hesitated but, driven by the large sum, agreed to fulfill the order. The next day, they arranged a meeting at an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of the city. Yang Shao, however, suspected the dealer might be planning a black-on-black scam. I want the goods, but I don't want to pay, the dealer thought. Yang Shao, however, had already anticipated this and had set up an ambush at the warehouse. As the dealer's men surrounded the warehouse, Yang Shao stealthily eliminated them with a crossbow before entering the warehouse as if nothing had happened. Where's the money? He asked. Where's the goods? The dealer pointed to a truck behind him, which was filled with guns and ammo. Nice. I hope we can work together again, Yang Shao said, shaking the dealer's hand. The dealer smiled and said, it's been a pleasure, but unfortunately, there won't be a next time. As he prepared to signal his men to attack, Yang Shao simply smiled and responded, yeah, unfortunately, there won't be a next time. Chapter 5, Stocking Up. Yang Shao gave the man a gentle tug, squeezing his throat with one hand. In the other, an AK-47 suddenly appeared, and he began firing directly into the crowd. Da. The group of subordinates, caught off guard, were mowed down, with more than 10 of them falling in the blink of an eye. The remaining few dared not fire back, hiding behind cover. You think hiding will save you? How naive. Yang Shao sneered. With a wave of his hand, all the clutter in the warehouse was sucked into his space. The bare warehouse left no hiding spots for the remaining subordinates. Before they could react, Yang Shao pulled the trigger, sending them on their way. After cleaning up the battlefield, Yang Shao casually threw the arms dealer onto the ground. The man was trembling in fear, his body shaking uncontrollably as he stammered, Demon, you're a demon. You must be a demon. Yang Shao sneered. A demon? Aren't you guys the real demons? I don't do black-on-black operations. If I steal, I do it openly. Why you? The arms dealer was at a loss for words. At that moment, Yang Shao's phone rang. It was Liu Ruyan calling. He adjusted his mood and answered. On the other end, Liu Ruyan's sweet voice came through, teasing him, hey, what are you up to? Not much, just buying weapons, and ran into a shady dealer. That boss tried to pull a black-on-black deal, and I just had a little skirmish with them. Har, you think I'm gonna believe that? Hee, if I don't brag, I might die. Stop talking nonsense, let me update you on the renovation progress. Sure, go ahead. Yang Shao listened carefully as they discussed the villa renovation. Liu Ruyan kept chattering away, but Yang Shao was growing anxious. After all, there was still the matter of the trembling arms dealer on the ground. Let us leave the fun stuff for later. I've got serious business to handle right now. HMPH, fine, then don't talk about it, Liu Ruyan pouted, in one of her moods that was hard to soothe. After a brief silence, she suddenly whispered, I miss you. Then, the phone abruptly hung up. This woman. Yang Shao's lips twitched as he was left in a daze, clearly affected by her words. Looking over at the trembling arms dealer, he asked with interest, "Let me ask you something. Do you think women are just creatures of the lower body?" Huh? Huh what? Answer me. The arms dealer nodded frantically. Why yes, women are creatures of the lower body. As long as they are satisfied, they even dig up their ancestors' graves. Yang Shao raised an eyebrow. Seems like you're not clueless. You should know what to do to buy your life back, right? The arms dealer's face turned pale as he pleaded, I can give you 10 million. No, 20 million. In US dollars. Please, spare me, I have an old mother and small children. Yang Shao's eyes lit up with surprise. What? You have a family? Well then, you better add more money, or I'll send your whole family down to reunite with their ancestors. The arms dealer was frozen, thinking, what kind of heartless person is this? He's even worse than I am. With no other choice, the arms dealer offered $100 million to save his family's lives. But Yang Shao was merciless. After taking the money, he shot the arms dealer dead, then put the body into his space. Under the cover of night, Yang Shao looted the arms dealer's factory, cleaning out the product and raw materials warehouses, as well as the production lines. No trace was left behind. He then boarded a flight to Tokyo to make more acquisitions. Once he landed, he was greeted by a city full of opportunities. He felt like he was surrounded by pumpkins waiting to be carved. He checked into a 5-star hotel and ordered a bubble bath service. Since he was willing to spend money, the hotel provided him with beautiful women to attend to him. While enjoying the service, Yang Shao also gathered intelligence from the women, extracting useful information from them. Over the course of a few days, he had several different women visit him each day, collecting all the information he needed. He learned about army bases, air force bases, naval bases, and police stations, all places he would need to avoid. On the other hand, weapons depots, major warehouse bases, chain supermarkets, and wholesale markets were places he planned to target next. He first went to a traditional Chinese medicine market and bought a large amount of various herbs, then returned to their hotel to begin working. In his past life, he had learned from an old poison expert, a man who had spent his life studying poisons. This man had taught him a few tricks, and Yang Shao excelled at making sleep-inducing drugs, which were cheap and hard to detect, perfect for stealth operations. This time, he was preparing to make a batch of sleep-inducing drugs. After 3 days of work, he had enough for many operations. That very night, he headed to Tokyo's largest warehouse base, drugged everyone there, and raided the entire base. On his way back, he also looted several large malls. The next day, the news exploded worldwide. Japanese netizens were furious, condemning the thief for being so ruthless. Meanwhile, netizens in his home country sent congratulatory messages, advising the Japanese to accept it, as the thief might continue stealing. Liu Ruyan, knowing Yang Shao was in Tokyo, secretly called him to check in, while Xie Yubing also called, warning him about the potential price increases and advising him to capitalize on the market trends. Yang Shao thought for a moment and asked, if Tokyo's oil storage facility was robbed, do you think international oil prices would rise? Oh. Xie Yubing was completely confused, not understanding what he meant. That evening, Tokyo's oil storage facility was indeed raided, with not a drop left behind. Xie Yubing quickly seized the opportunity and made a hefty profit. Bro, you're amazing. How did you know the Tokyo oil storage facility would be robbed? I just made a little circle and cursed them. With a series of major thefts occurring, panic and anger erupted among the public. They demanded the government solve the case quickly, or step down if they couldn't. The local government was embarrassed, with their faces covered in shame, but they could only promise to solve the case as soon as possible. What good is it? Yang Shao muttered, planning his next move. Now that the authorities had raised their alert and stepped up security, with the self-defense forces involved, it wouldn't be as easy to succeed. So, he decided to throw them off the scent. That evening, he used a drone to drop gasoline near a residential area and set a building on fire. Within moments, the entire complex was engulfed in flames, with cries for help echoing everywhere. Soon, police, firefighters, and ambulances arrived, creating a chaotic scene. Chapter 6: Harassing the Americans. At this time, Yang Shao came to the grain base in another direction. He drugged everyone and successfully emptied all the grain. While the other party hadn't reacted yet, Yang Shao immediately rushed to the food wholesale market not far away and emptied everything. Before leaving, he set a big fire. He didn't care about Xiaozi's life or death. It would be best if this fire could spread to the whole of Tokyo and burn them to death. Early the next morning, the news of the theft and water loss in Tokyo spread all over the world. Countries around the world sent congratulatory messages, asking them how many people died and how much money they lost. It was also because of Yang Shao's divine assist that Xie Yubing took decisive action and made a lot of money. In the following half a month, Yang Shao made full use of the wisdom of Sun Tzu's Art of War and the 36 stratagems, and wandered around every corner of Tokyo. Burn the god's toilet, burn the palace, and rob the museum. Burn, kill, rob, and rob, with cruel means. Nearly 80% of the supplies in Tokyo were taken away by him, causing prices to soar, causing panic and everyone to feel insecure. As time went by, the disappearance of the black-hearted boss in Peshawar was reported to Tokyo, and the intelligence department soon locked its sights on Yang Shao. Because he was the last person to contact the black-hearted boss, the boss disappeared afterwards, and the arsenal was emptied overnight, which was highly similar to the situation here. So they detained Yang Shao as soon as possible and tried to force a confession through mental torture. However, these little tricks were simply not worth mentioning for Yang Shao, who had experienced 3 years of survival in the apocalypse. After 48 hours of mental torture, Yang Shao was still as steady as an old dog and did not confess. Finally, because of the intervention of the embassy, the other party had to let him go. But they did not let Yang Shao go easily, and sent many people to monitor him day and night. Yang Shao felt that something was wrong. With Xiao Ri's despicable and shameless style of doing things, he might use a trick to get rid of him behind the scenes. If he didn't run away, he might be buried here. After much thought, he decided to go crazy one last time. He used Chinese medicinal materials to prepare a highly toxic poison, which was colorless and tasteless, and killed people instantly. The instrument could not detect it at all. Boy, since you are looking for death, then you can't blame me. Taking advantage of the night, he drugged and killed several intelligence officers who were responsible for monitoring him, and put their bodies into the space. Then he quietly came to the water plant and put the prepared poison into the water. He had a crazy smile on his face and was shaking with excitement. He didn't think these little people were innocent. In his previous life, a large number of little people sneaked into the country with the help of pro-Japanese factions, killed and set fire in coastal cities, raped and robbed, and used living people for experiments. It was simply too numerous to list and full of evil. He encountered many little people and killed many, but he couldn't kill them all. In this life, he wanted to let these beasts feel the taste of being slaughtered in advance. He ran away at night before the truth came out. The next morning, the news that more than 3 million people in Tokyo were poisoned to death swept the world like a tornado, causing a sensation. There was wailing in Sherry, and angry people marched and demonstrated, demanding that the government find the real murderer as soon as possible and give justice to the deceased. The government was incompetent and repeatedly shirked responsibility, which angered the people and caused a large-scale smashing and trampling incident. This was another wave of market conditions, which was firmly grasped by Xie Yubing. Netizens from various countries sent congratulatory messages and expressed their intention to send a few paper cranes to express their condolences. Some pro-Japanese factions quarreled with them and scolded them for being inhumane. Justice netizens naturally couldn't get used to their bad habits, and immediately fought back, almost drowning them with saliva. What can a mere traitor do to fight us? At this time, Yang Shao had already boarded a flight to the Central Plains of North America. There are a large number of farms there, and the food reserves are greatly abundant. He will definitely not let it go easily. After getting off the plane, he checked into a black hotel and began to make drugs. After several days of hard work, the amount of drugs was considerable and he could take action. He bought a black car and rushed to a nearby farm in the dark night. The farm was very large, so he went directly to the warehouse, drugged everyone, and then emptied all the grain in the granary. After finishing, he drove to the next one without stopping. He was busy all night, and he cleaned up more than a dozen farms and farms around him. It was not suitable to act during the day, so he went to the nearest city, found an informal club, and ordered a one-stop service. Relieve stress, have a good sleep, and commit crimes in the city at night. When the police were looking for the theft gangs all over the streets during the day, he had already driven a black car to the suburbs and went into the woods to sleep. At night, he began to rob nearby farms and farms. When the farmer called the police, he had already arrived in another city, and continued to order girls to massage and rest in the club, and then started to rob the city at night. In this way, he hid during the day and went out at night, stealing wherever he went. He stole in front and the police chased behind, just like playing hide and seek. However, he was very cautious and did not kill anyone or steal arms throughout the process, so as to avoid military intervention. The American Army and the daily self-defense forces are completely different, and he did not want to cause trouble for himself. Although his whereabouts were very chaotic, he stole wherever he went, and it was hard to guess where his next destination would be. But after careful analysis by the intelligence department, they found that the murderer's movement trajectory was always eastward. Thinking of the supplies that disappeared out of thin air before, they had a bold guess the other party's ultimate goal might be the Great Lakes. But this inference was too absurd, and the top leaders were unwilling to believe it. The Great Lakes have such a large water storage capacity, let him fill it up as he wants, and see how much he can fill. So they missed the only chance to arrest the murderer. A month later, Yang Shao came to Chicago. In order not to alert the enemy, he did not start in the city, but took advantage of the night to go to the uninhabited suburbs, the shore of Lake Michigan. On a dark night, you could not see your hand in front of you. A huge black hole appeared on the lake, sucking the lake water into it crazily. Since the space cannot hold living things, the lake water is automatically sterilized after being sucked in, and it only needs to be filtered when needed, which saves a lot of effort. The space cannot directly take in high-level intelligent creatures such as living people, but mentally retarded creatures such as fish can. A large number of fish were sucked into the space with the lake water, and died directly, and they were kept fresh forever. The 5 Great Lakes are interconnected, so the water level is also dropping at the same time. After pumping all night, there was little water left in the 5 Great Lakes. Seeing that it was almost dawn, in order not to be discovered, Yang Shao drove away directly. When the old American map was frantically looking for the crazy thief, Yang Shao had already boarded the flight back to China. Chapter 7 Return to China. Since he has always been driving an illegal car and staying in an illegal hotel, and has not left any personal information, the Americans will not be able to find him for a while. Alas, don't blame me for being cruel. Anyway, when the doomsday comes, these things will disappear. It's better to let me take them away in advance to make some contribution to the continuation of mankind. Yang Shao sighed in his heart, but he always had a smile on his face. Because the strange drying up of the Great Lakes was too big to be concealed, it quickly spread all over the world, causing panic on a global scale. First, Tokyo lost nearly 80% of its supplies and more than 3 million people were poisoned to death. Now it is the turn of major cities and farms in central North America to be stolen, and finally even the Great Lakes were poisoned, which made many people have to wonder if it was the gods who took action. Some people also took the opportunity to spread doomsday rhetoric, trying to create panic to achieve their ulterior motives. Governments around the world are trying to appease the people and control public opinion to avoid further panic. As the culprit, Yang Shao had already boarded the high-speed train to go home. After several hours of running around, he finally arrived at the station. Just as he got off the high-speed train, several policemen surrounded him. Yang Shao was taken to the police station in a daze. Who am I and where am I? An old policeman and a young and beautiful policewoman were in charge of interrogating him. The old policeman came up to exert pressure and said seriously, "Tell the truth, what have you done these days?" What? I'm asking you a question. The old policeman raised his tone, but kept blinking at him. Yang Shao immediately understood that it must be because the case of the black-hearted boss made him a suspect, and Xiao Zizi and Lao Mai came to this side to ask for him. In order to put on a show for some people, this side can only pretend to arrest him. I went to Tokyo to take a few bubble baths, but then I felt unsatisfied, so I went to North America to play with foreigners. It doesn't violate the law here, right? The policewoman knocked on the table heavily and asked seriously, "Anything else? Tell me the truth. Anything else?" "Oh, so many things happened recently, which made me feel that it was too dangerous abroad, so I didn't have time to go through the formalities and ran away directly." "Is this serious?" The old policeman said with a gloomy face, "It's very serious, it's considered smuggling, a fine of 500 or detention for 5 days, you choose one. I'll pay. After explaining the problems clearly and paying the fine, Yang Shao left the police station smoothly, and the old policeman drove him there personally. At the door of the police station, the policewoman looked at the car leaving without saying a word. A majestic voice suddenly came from behind. How is it? What did you find out? The policewoman saluted him. Director Zhao. Director Zhao said with a stern face, there are no outsiders here, call me daddy. It's working hours now. Okay. Tell me about Yang Shao's situation. Zhao Ying curled her lips and said with disdain, what's there to say, he's just a pervert. He went abroad to make a big sword, and felt that the situation was not right and smuggled back. He was fined 500. Oh, that's it. Director Zhao smiled meaningfully and turned to leave. In the car, the old police handed him a cigarette and said with a smile, didn't I scare you just now? No. Just kidding, he is a big devil who kills without blinking an eye, how could he be scared? Har har har, young people have a good mentality. Alas, I hope you can understand that we are also under great pressure and have to do superficial work to show others, otherwise we can't get through. I understand, it is the obligation of every citizen to cooperate with the police in handling cases. Har har har. The two seemed to have said nothing, but also seemed to have said everything. After sending Yang Shao to the gate of the community, the old policeman left him a phone number. Just call me Lao Zhang, and come to me if you encounter any unsolvable problems in the future. He is a pragmatic person and doesn't care about the opinions of the world. In his eyes, those who dare to kill Xiaoshi are heroes worthy of respect. Thank you very much. Yang Shao showed a friendly smile and sent the old policeman off. In a blink of an eye, a few days passed, the villa had been renovated, and Yang Shao paid the balance to the decoration company. It has been 2 months since the rebirth, and there are still 10 days before the end of the world. The 100 million invested in Shi Yubing has now become 15 billion, which is so terrifying. Yang Shao immediately left the scene, took out all the money, and prepared to purchase supplies. He transferred 5 million to Shi Yubing as a reward, and invited her to his home for dinner to thank her in person. However, because Shi Yubing had been working too hard these days, she was too nervous and too tired, so she needed to rest for 2 days to recover, so she agreed to meet him in 3 days. Yang Shao didn't care too much. He fried a few side dishes in the evening and browsed Taobao to list the goods he needed to purchase while eating. Just then, the doorbell rang, and it was Liu Ruyan. As soon as she entered the door, Liu Ruyan happily threw herself into Yang Shao's arms, her heart pounding, excited, and exuding an alluring fragrance. You are finally back, I miss you so much. Don't talk, kiss me. It was just after 9 o'clock after finishing their work, and the two were tired and hungry. Took a shower together, and then had a meal together. Yang Shao asked, why are you so excited tonight? Liu Ruyan blushed and dodged, no, nothing, I just want to thank you. Thank me. Well, I can get more than 8 million commissions for completing your order. I have no way to repay you, but, cough cough. By the way, why did you turn the villa into a doomsday fortress? You have too much money to burn. Yang Shao held her in his arms and stroked her gently, smiling and saying, I observed the sky at night and predicted that a major disaster will happen soon, so I am preparing in advance. Arrogant, forget it. Okay, then you will know whether what I said is true or false. While there is still some time, can you help me with some advice on what supplies should I stockpile for the doomsday? Are you serious? Okay, I'll help you with some advice. Liu Ruyan took advantage of her husband's socializing outside to help Yang Shao sort out the list of supplies. Time passed quickly, and in a blink of an eye it was 11:30, and the two of them listed nearly 200 kinds of supplies in total. Liu Ruyan looked at the time, her eyes full of resentment, and left reluctantly. With 9 days left before the end of the world, Yang Shao began his final frenzy. With more than 15 billion in savings, he began to go shopping like crazy. He first contacted a frozen dumpling processing factory and asked for 10 tons of goods. The other party thought he was a scammer and almost called the police. However, after receiving the payment, the other party believed it and happily said that he would deliver the goods to his door within 3 days. Then he contacted several frozen food processing factories and bought hundreds of tons of dumplings, glutinous rice balls and buns of various flavors. Various snack processing factories, various beverage processing factories, various breweries, etc., placed orders according to their material list. Chapter 8 Delivery. After being busy for most of the day and contacting everyone he needed to, he drove to the pure water plant and ice factory to clear out the inventory and let the workers continue to work overtime to double their wages. Suddenly he remembered that the car had not been modified yet, and it would be inconvenient to travel on Doomsday, so he bought a brand new Warrior 3 and modified it. Many roads on Doomsday had melted, and rubber tires could not be used, so he asked the master to help change them to tracks. After finishing these things, it was already late. Boss Wang from the tea shop called to tell him that the goods were ready and asked him where to send them. Only then did Yang Shao remember that the tea had not been received yet, so he sent him an address and asked him to deliver it to the villa. All kinds of tea added up to a full 10 tons, and were delivered by a large truck. After unloading the goods, it was already dark, and Boss Wang wanted to treat Yang Shao to dinner. It was almost time for dinner, so Yang Shao did not refuse. At the dinner table, Boss Wang was beaming with joy and said, "Brother Yang, this time it's all thanks to you. I invested 100,000 yuan and made more than 10 million yuan in 2 months. Har har har, congratulations, but you should thank Miss Xia. If it weren't for her, you wouldn't have made this money. Har har har, you're right. I've transferred 200,000 yuan to her as a small token of my appreciation. By the way, if you have any other ways to make money, remember to help me." Yang Shao thought for a while and asked, "What are your plans next? Now I've sold almost all the tea in the store to you. I have to go back to my hometown to prepare some stock. It happens that my mother's 60th birthday is coming up in a few days. I plan to stay at home with her for a while, which can also be regarded as a vacation for myself. Is that so? If there are any delicious specialties in your hometown, please help me buy a batch. I'll pick up the goods in half a month." Yang Shao liked the boss very much, so he decided to help him. If you ask the other party to stock up directly, the other party probably won't take it to heart, so this method is the most appropriate. Boss Wang said with a smile, "Don't worry, brother, I will help you after I go back, and I will definitely let you taste all the delicacies of our hometown. Well, stock up more, money is not a problem. Especially the rice in your hometown, the taste is quite unique. It's best to stock up 100 to 80 tons, I want to give it to others." "No problem, leave it to me." After 3 rounds of wine, the two went back to their own homes. After taking a shower, I found a missed call from Xie Yubing, and then sent a WeChat voice message. "Brother Shao, what are you doing?" Yang Shao smiled faintly. If it were in the past, if an ordinary person like him sent a message to the goddess, it would probably fall on deaf ears. Unlike now, the goddess took the initiative to chat with him. "Money is really a good thing. I was taking a shower just now, what's the matter?" Xie Yubing waited and waited for Yang Shao to reply, and was immediately happy. "HMPH, can't I just chat with you when I have nothing to do? Look at what you said, it's too formal, as long as you want, you can chat with me anytime." "Hee hee. That's more like it. By the way, Brother Shao, have you seen the news? I'm famous." "Yes, I have. Congratulations, you have become famous in one battle. People who want to sign contracts with you in the future may break down the door of your company." Yang Shao's words were not polite. Xie Yubing made him earn 15 billion in just 2 months. This matter has been widely circulated in the financial industry and everyone knows it. It is conceivable how many people will look for Xie Yubing to invest in the future. Alas, I'm so annoyed now. My phone is about to be blown up. I can't even have a peaceful vacation. Har har, the more capable you are, the more work you should do. HMPH, I'm working so hard, but you're the biggest winner. No, you have to treat me to a meal. Har har har. No problem, you pick the time and place. Really? Then tomorrow, I want to have a seafood feast. Okay. Yang Shao then remembered that the seafood had not been stocked up, so he called the seafood market overnight and spent a huge amount of money to order a batch of seafood, asking them to deliver the goods as soon as possible. Early the next morning, several large trucks drove to Yang Shao's yard. 1 truck of high-quality rice, 1 truck of fresh pork, 1 truck of fresh beef, 1 truck of fresh mutton, 1 truck of chicken, duck and goose meat, and 1 truck of seafood. This was just the first batch of goods, and there would be more later. Yang Shao asked them to unload the goods directly in the yard, and they were busy until noon. After receiving a call from Xie Yubing, he was about to go out for the appointment when the deliverman came again, with several trucks of wine and beverages. Helplessly, he had to call Xie Yubing. Sorry, I have something urgent to do. How about we meet again in the evening? Xie Yubing pouted and said, but I want to see you now. Oh, how about you come to my house? I just bought a batch of seafood this morning. You can make whatever you want to eat yourself. Okay, I'll be there right away. Half an hour later, Xie Yubing drove to Yang Shao's door and was stunned as soon as he got off the car. I saw 7 or 8 large trucks lined up waiting to unload, surrounded by people eating onlookers. It was very lively. Wow, what project are you doing? Are you planning to open a shopping mall? Yang Shao smiled and said, I'm going to donate it to poor mountainous areas. Don't worry about the details. Is this your new car? It looks good. In front of him was a brand new Cayenne, a beautiful luxury car, which matched Xie Yubing's temperament very well. Yeah, I bought it half a month ago. Thanks to your support, otherwise I wouldn't have bought a car so quickly. The key is that you have the ability. Okay, don't stand here, sit inside. Yeah. This is Xie Yubing's first time at Yang Shao's house. She likes the decoration style here very much. It's luxurious enough. Can you cook seafood? There are 2 big lobsters in the refrigerator. Yes. For the sake of the big lobsters, I'll make an exception today and let you taste my fairy's cooking skills. Steamed lobsters. After eating and drinking, Xie Yubing left reluctantly. She had planned to take down Yang Shao today, but was delayed by these big trucks. It's really a case of good things taking time, but people don't get what they want. Liu Ruyan was also distressed. Her husband seemed to have discovered something recently and kept a close eye on her. He also tested her from time to time, so that she had no chance to meet her lover. Since Yang Shao had used all his money to stock up, the funds in his account shrank rapidly, which made Bai Jie, the bank account manager, a little panicked. In order to retain this big customer, Bai Jie invited him to their hotel to talk all night. In order to keep her so that he could continue to prostitute for free, Yang Shao verbally promised her that he would continue to deposit money, and also gave her some small gifts to let the beauty continue to have fantasies about him. At 4:30 in the morning, Yang Shao drove to an old vegetable market. It was already crowded and bustling. More than a dozen large trucks full of vegetables were parked on the side of the road, and behind each truck there was a group of small vendors buying goods. Chapter 9: Anti-Pornography. Yang Shao heard people talking in the tea shop that some large truck drivers specialize in this job. The driver is just their side job, and their main job is to be a second-hand dealer, specializing in purchasing fruits and vegetables from large farms, and then taking them to the vegetable market to wholesale to vegetable vendors. Although it is a bit hard, you can earn more and have more freedom. You can lie down after selling a few trucks a month. Yang Shao came to a pumpkin cart, found the boss, and said straight to the point, I want to order a few carts of small pumpkins. Do you have enough supply? The boss saw that he was young, curled his lips, and replied with disdain, don't mention a few carts, I can get dozens or hundreds of carts for you, as long as you can afford the price. Yang Shao knew that this old man didn't believe him, so he didn't argue and immediately transferred 100,000 yuan to him. Send me 1 cart today. If the quality is good, send me 10 carts within a week. The boss was excited when he received the transfer reminder. Hey, boss, don't worry, I promise to send you the best small pumpkins. Then both parties left contact information and delivery address. The noise here attracted the attention of several other drivers. They came over curiously and asked, Olshan, what's the matter? You look so happy. Hey, of course it's a big happy event, I won't tell you. TSK, stingy, as if we are curious to know. Hey, it's actually not a big deal. It's just that this boss asked me for 10 carts of pumpkins. How much? 10 carts. Several veteran drivers were shocked and suspected that they had heard wrongly. They looked at Yang Shao, a young man, a little handsome, who didn't look like a rich man at all. Hey, little brother, let me ask you, are you really asking Laoshan for 10 truckloads of pumpkins? Yang Shao nodded and asked, what do you sell? Hey, we merchants sell all kinds of vegetables. Today I sell beans, bitter melons and eggplants, and they sell cucumbers, corn, lettuce, potatoes, sweet potatoes, tomatoes, etc. Is that so? Then you can also deliver goods to me. As long as the quality is up to standard, you can deliver 100 to 80 tons of each item within 7 days. Really? I can pay the deposit first. Then Yang Shao paid each person a 100,000 yuan advance payment. Several bosses were very excited. The remaining veteran drivers came after hearing the news and received large orders. It would be inconvenient to deliver so many goods to their villa, so Yang Shao decided to rent a warehouse and let them deliver all the goods to their warehouse. Old Shen asked curiously, "Mr. Yang, excuse me, you bought so many vegetables, what are you going to do with them?" "Of course it's for charity, otherwise how can I eat so much by myself?" Old Shen suddenly asked with a gloomy face, "Are you going to donate it to Shaorizi?" Hearing this, other drivers also cast unfriendly eyes, as if they were ready to refund. Many of these drivers are veterans, and their hatred for Shaorizi has long been engraved in their bones. Yang Shao curled his lips and said with disdain, "A bunch of garbage, I would rather feed them to pigs than donate them." Har 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 har. Well said, a bunch of beasts, died well, died wonderfully, died quackly. I don't know how many people in our country are still living in poverty, but some people are making a big fuss to donate money and materials to others, which really makes their ancestors lose face. Yang Shao raised his eyebrows and asked with interest, "According to what you said, there should be quite a few people donating money and materials to live a normal life, right?" "Humph, more than quite a few, simply as numerous as cattle hair. Bar, they are all a bunch of dog traitors." "What do you mean by boundless love? They are so noble, why don't they help the suffering people in the country?" Seeing them getting more and more excited, Yang Shao couldn't help laughing. What's the point of talking nonsense? After leaving the vegetable market, before dawn, he immediately drove to the fruit wholesale market. There are also many large trucks selling goods here, and the situation is similar to that at the vegetable market. He used the same method to find more than a dozen drivers to deliver goods for him. Within a week, he would take as many as he could, with as many varieties as possible, and money was not a problem. Then he rented a large warehouse near the community and sent the delivery address to the drivers. After arranging everything, it was already noon. He was about to go home to cook when he suddenly received a call from Liu Ruyan. Liu Ruyan asked him out for dinner and even took a leave in the afternoon to accompany him. Yang Shao naturally took the lead and happily went to the appointment. After the two had dinner, they went straight to their hotel and did some happy things. Liu Ruyan said with a worried look on her face, "My husband seems to have begun to doubt me, what should I do?" Yang Shao shrugged, "It's up to you. No matter what you want to do, I will support you." Bo tilder tilder. He, I know you are the best to me. In the afternoon, Liu Ruyan left the hotel first and drove back to the company. Yang Shao was a little reluctant, and after thinking about it, he called Xie Yubing to invite her over to play. However, the other party was negotiating with a big client and was about to sign a contract to open an account, so he couldn't leave for the time being. In desperation, he had to call Bai Jie and asked her to come to their hotel to discuss the deposit. Bai Jie naturally would not refuse. She dressed up carefully and happily went to the appointment. The two chatted happily in the hotel. Seeing that it was almost time for dinner, Yang Shao took her out for dinner. He was a particular person. He couldn't play with others for nothing. At least he had to feed them. As soon as they left the hotel, sirens came from behind. A group of police surrounded the hotel to crack down on prostitution. The leader was Zhao Ying. Fuck, that was close. Yang Shao was shocked and felt a little scared. If they hadn't left in time, they would definitely be caught by Captain Zhao. He was not afraid of administrative penalties or anything like that. The key was not to die in society, especially not to be caught on the spot by the big policewoman and caught red-handed. The policewoman turned around as if she had sensed something, and immediately saw Yang Shao standing with a woman, and she narrowed her eyes. The two were quite well behaved, not hugging each other, and seemed innocent. She gave Yang Shao a confused look, and then began to crack down on prostitution. Yang Shao felt that it was not appropriate to stay here for a long time, so he decisively pulled Bai Jie into the car and left. After eating and drinking, Bai Jie was a little drunk, her face was slightly red, and her breath was as fragrant as orchid. "My husband is not at home tonight, I am scared to be alone, can you accompany me?" What if your husband suddenly comes back? "No, he went on a business trip to another city and won't be back in a day or two." "Okay, since you sincerely asked me, I will accompany you, who says I am kind-hearted?" He. Bai Jie smiled coquettishly. This opportunity is rare, she must persuade Yang Shao tonight to let him add to the deposit amount. Chapter 10 Encountering a Policewoman. In the last few days, Yang Shao was still shopping like crazy. During the day, he went to major shopping malls, supermarkets, and wholesale markets to buy everything he could use, including food, clothing, housing, and transportation. At night, he went to major snack streets to buy barbecue stalls, buy. Braised food stalls, buy. Ju Hei Ya, buy. Fried noodle stalls, buy. Snail noodles, buy. Lao Yu noodles, buy. Milk tea shops, buy. Dessert shops, buy. Anything that was visible and tangible in the snack street was sold out. Many people who were going to have a midnight snack couldn't buy anything to eat, and there were complaints everywhere. Yang Shao didn't care about their feelings. He was pushing a storage box with a cart, collecting goods from stall to stall, attracting waves of resentful eyes. Damn it, he's taken all the food, what are we going to eat? Bar, nouveau riche. Is it great to be rich? If you have the ability, you can take down the whole street. Although everyone cursed, they were envious in their hearts. Just when Yang Shao was happily receiving the goods, a cold voice came from behind him, what are you doing? Yang Shao looked back and found that it was the big police flower Zhao Ying, and his eyes lit up immediately. Zhao Ying tied her hair into a ponytail and wore a tight t-shirt, showing off her hot body. Casual short skirt, white stockings, sneakers, a pure first love character. There was another woman with her, quite beautiful. But compared with the big police flower Zhao, she was nothing. She looked down on everyone and obviously looked down on Yang Shao, who didn't have a single brand name on his body. Hey, just some midnight snacks. Zhao Ying rolled her eyes, speechless. You bought all the snacks on the whole street. Are you sure you bought a little instead of a billion? Is it illegal for me to buy things? Yang Shao scratched his head and pretended to be silly. Zhao Ying shook her head. Although it is not illegal, your abnormal behavior is likely to attract the attention of the relevant departments, and you may be invited to have tea. She was telling the truth. This is not a Western country. Behaviors like Yang Shao that disrupt the market order are easy to be targeted. I overlooked this. Yang Shao thought about it and decided to order takeout in the future. I heard that you have been buying supplies crazily recently, with a total value of more than 15 billion. Can you tell me the purpose? The official intelligence network is not vegetarian. It has been investigating Yang Shao's recent actions since the first day he returned to China, so it knows his recent actions well. Hearing this, Zhao Ying's female companion opened her mouth in surprise, her eyes sparkling. Really? I can't tell, the little brother is actually an invisible rich man. Let me introduce myself, my name is Zhao Cece, can you add me on WeChat? Lin Cece is a gold digger, and her biggest dream is to marry into a wealthy family and become a rich wife. Now that the wealthy family is right in front of her, she naturally wants to grasp it firmly. Yang Shao looked at her carefully. Her appearance and figure, in a few days, will be worth a sausage. Although she is not bad, she is far inferior to Zhao Ying, and she is crushed in both figure and appearance, so he will naturally not lose sight of the main point. Har, nice to meet you. After a perfunctory remark, Yang Shao ignored her and looked at Zhao Ying to explain, those materials were donated to poor mountainous areas and have been taken away overnight. Zhao Ying was stunned. All donated. Well, not a single one is left. If you don't believe me, you can go to my house to look for them. Okay, you report to the bureau tomorrow and explain the situation to avoid being targeted by certain departments. Okay, thank you, Officer Zhao. Hearing this, Lin Cece immediately lost interest in Yang Shao. 15 billion worth of materials were donated. What a prodigal son, such a person is destined to have no future. If the money was given to her, she could buy many famous brand bags and jewelry, and she could also become the supreme VIP customer of the beauty salon, showing off in moments every day without repeating. After chatting for a few more words, Zhao Ying was ready to leave. Yang Shao thought about it and decided to remind her, Officer Zhao, have you noticed that the weather has been very abnormal recently, getting hotter day by day? What's more abnormal is that there has not been a drop of rain in the world for nearly 2 months. What do you want to say? Nothing, I'm busy first. Yang Shao waved goodbye to her and continued to receive the goods. Lin Cece felt that Yang Shao's words were inexplicable and suspected that he was crazy. Isn't it normal for the global temperature to warm up and get hotter? Isn't it normal for it not to rain for 2 months? Making a fuss. But Zhao Ying fell into deep thought, her face becoming more and more solemn. It's reasonable for it not to rain locally for 1 or 2 months, but if it hasn't rained for 2 months globally, the problem is very serious. Cece, I have something to go back first. After leaving a word, Zhao Ying turned around and left. She wanted to go back to verify whether what Yang Shao said was true. If it hasn't rained for 2 months globally, it would be a disaster. After some investigation and calling the authorities in the relevant field, she was horrified to find that what Yang Shao said was actually true. She didn't have time to think about it and immediately told her father, the director of the bureau, about this discovery. When Director Zhao learned the news, he was also quite surprised. But this matter was not his responsibility, so he could only call friends in the relevant field to remind them. After he finished the call, Zhao Ying asked nervously, "How is it?" Director Zhao shrugged, "As you can see, people don't take it too seriously. It is said that this situation will not last long." Zhao Ying's eyes were deep, and she felt that things were far from that simple. Thinking of the large number of thefts in the United States and Japan in the past 2 months, and the news that the Great Lakes dried up overnight, she concluded that something big must happen soon. "Dad, no matter what others say, we must not sit and wait for death." Director Zhao raised his eyebrows. "Oh? Then what do you want to do?" Zhao Ying thought for a while and said, "How about this? Let's take out all the savings in the family and try to stock up as much food and water with a long shelf life as possible. Is it necessary to do this? What do you think? Think about the large amount of materials stolen from the United States and Japan, think about the inexplicably dried up Great Lakes, and think about this abnormal climate. I feel that a major disaster will come soon. Is it alarmist?" Director Zhao's mouth twitched slightly. He didn't admit it, but he believed it half in his heart. His daughter's sixth sense has always been very accurate, so he thinks it is necessary to seriously consider his daughter's suggestions. "How about this, you use our money to stock up, and don't touch your mother's money for the time being." Director Zhao integrated the money from several savings cards, collected more than 300,000 yuan, and transferred it all to Zhao Ying. Zhao Ying rolled her eyes. "You are such a failure as a director. Look at others, all of them have luxury cars, villas, mistresses, antique jewelry, famous cigarettes and famous liquors, but you still live in a house allocated by the unit. You are really my own daughter. If you want to be filial to me, just say it." Old Zhao was furious and looked for 7 wolves everywhere. Okay, 300,000 is 300,000, I still have more than 6 million in my card." As soon as their voice fell, Old Zhao immediately cast a murderous look and asked sternly, "Comrade Zhao Ying, tell me the truth, where did you get this huge sum of money?" Zhao Ying rolled her eyes and explained, "There has been such a major theft case recently, such a good market, you can make a lot of money by just investing a little, only old antiques like you will miss the opportunity to make a fortune in vain." After saying this, Zhao Ying went out to purchase supplies, leaving Old Zhao alone in the wind. Chapter 11 Little Rich Woman. The owner who lives next door to Yang Shao's house is a female college student named Tian Chichi, who is the campus beauty of the University of Finance and Economics. Because her family is rich and she doesn't like to live in a dormitory, she rented a villa nearby in this community. Rich, willful, little rich woman. At the same time, she is also a doomsday fan. She likes to collect some cold weapons such as bows, crossbows, swords, etc. when she has nothing to do, because they look very cool. Last night, she celebrated her 20th birthday and invited several female classmates who had a good relationship with her to celebrate her birthday. Everyone had a great time. After the birthday party, the other female classmates went back to school, leaving only a girlfriend named Su Mi who stayed here. Because she drank too much last night, Su Mi was still sleeping at noon. The villa that Tian Chichi saw had several trucks of supplies pulled in early in the morning, so she walked over curiously to find out. When she saw boxes of supplies piled up in the yard, she was very surprised. After adjusting her state, she greeted Yang Shao with a smile. "Hello handsome guy, my name is Tian Chichi, I live next door to your house. Can I ask why your family buys so many things?" Yang Shao looked back and his eyes lit up immediately, and he immediately decided to add one to his harem. Nothing, the weather has been too abnormal recently, so I plan to stock up more supplies just in case. Abnormal weather. Tian Chichi frowned slightly. As a wealthy woman, her intuition told her that this matter was definitely not as simple as it seemed. But it was obviously inappropriate to ask too many confidential questions when you just met someone, so she added Yang Shao's WeChat in a friendly way and went home. As soon as she entered the house, she couldn't wait to search the weather forecast online. After carefully searching a lot of information, she finally found something unusual and suddenly widened her eyes in disbelief. It hasn't rained a drop of rain in the world for 2 months. This is terrible. But then her eyes lit up again and she showed excitement. This is also a business opportunity. Maybe I can stockpile drinking water in large quantities, sell it at a high price, and make a lot of money. She did it right away. She immediately called to order a large amount of purified water. Then she went to the balcony on the second floor and used a telescope to observe what other supplies the neighbors had stockpiled besides purified water. After half a day of observation, she found that there were many kinds of goods pulled over from the neighbors, all of which were food and drink, and the quantity was amazing. She checked the balance of her bank card and found that there were still more than 30 million, which felt far from enough. She opened the spot trading platform again, and there were more than 500 million in her account. This was all thanks to the recent major events in Sherry and North America, which allowed her to seize several big market trends and make more than 50 times the profit by entering the market with 10 million. She decided to take a gamble and withdraw all the funds in her account to stockpile goods. At noon, Su Mi woke up from hunger and rubbed her sleepy eyes to go to the restaurant to find food. She drank a bottle of milk, ate a bun, and then went to find Qianchichi with a fried dough stick in her mouth. Qianchichi was looking for a manufacturer to place an order online, when she suddenly felt 2 freshly baked meat buns pressing on her jade back, still warm. She looked back and happened to meet Su Mi's cherry lips, so she pecked them cleanly. Have you slept enough? Yeah, I woke up because I was hungry. What are you doing, shopping online? Su Mi stretched her body, and her loose nightgown could not hide her devilish figure. Although her appearance was slightly inferior to Qianchichi's, her strong capital was enough to make up for this gap. Qianchichi held her in his arms, playing with her abundant capital, and said, "Well, the weather has been very abnormal recently, and there may be a major disaster, so I am stocking up for emergency use." Su Mi said with disdain, "What era is it? What major disaster can there be? The country has stored so much food, even if there is a disaster, people will not starve to death. I advise you not to waste time on these meaningless things." "No, I checked the information. It hasn't rained in the world for 2 months. Do you know what this means? Isn't it normal that it doesn't rain for 2 months? I think you are just worrying about nothing. Don't look at these things, let me see the latest bags." Su Mi is a girl who pursues a high-quality life. Most of her energy is focused on dressing up, and she is very obsessed with luxury goods. Go, there is a tablet over there, take a look at it yourself." Qianchichi knew the nature of this bestie, and was too lazy to convince her, so she drove her away directly. She found more than a dozen suppliers and ordered a large amount of pure water and various snacks, but she always felt like something was missing. She thought about it and sent a message to Yang Shao, saying, "Brother, I have a little money recently and don't know how to spend it. Can you give me some advice?" Yang Shao was speechless after receiving such a message and replied, "Who would ask such a question? It's easy to be misunderstood. People who don't know would think you want to support me." Qianchichi smiled playfully, considering that you are so tall and handsome, it's not impossible to support you." Yang Shao rolled his eyes, thinking she was just having fun. "If you have too much money and have nowhere to spend it, you can install solar panels and prepare a few generators. Is it true? If I lose my goods, I will settle accounts with you. Would you like to pay you a few 100 million? You rascal." Qianchichi angrily exited the dialogue box and fell into deep thought. Is it really impossible? But that guy's villa is so exaggerated, it's like a doomsday fortress, and he has so many supplies. Does he have any inside information? She tapped the table lightly, thought for a long time, and finally made up her mind to take a gamble. It's just over 500 million. Anyway, it's all for a good life and the American national disaster. Let's go all in. She didn't hesitate any longer and went to buy goods according to the standards of the doomsday. I'm going out to buy something. Do you want to come with me? Sure. Su Mi put down the tablet, quickly dressed and put on makeup, and then went out with Qianchichi. It was very hot now. The two of them were sweating profusely just a few minutes after they walked outside. Qianchichi drove straight to the food wholesale market and started shopping crazily. 50 tons of rice. 10 tons of dry goods in total. 1 ton of cured meat and sausage. 2 tons of fresh pork, 1 ton of chicken, duck and goose. 3,000 packs of quick frozen dumplings, glutinous rice balls, and buns. 2,000 packs of soy milk powder, and nutritious cereal. 100 boxes of beverages of various flavors, 300 boxes of milk, 500 boxes of beer. 100 boxes of self-heating rice, 200 boxes of self-heating pots, 100 boxes of pre-prepared dishes. 100 boxes of instant noodles, 100 boxes of ham. There were so many things that she hired 3 trucks. Then she went to the pharmacy to purchase a large number of conventional medicines, especially sunburn cream, and directly cleared the inventory of several pharmacies. Suemi originally thought that today would be another pleasant shopping day, but Qianqiqi came to buy goods, which really screwed her over. She complained with a sad face, "Stinky Chichi, are you going to open your own supermarket? Why are you buying so many goods? It's exhausting." Qianqiqi smiled and said, "I'm investing." Do you know what investing means? If a natural disaster really breaks out, I will make a lot of money with this batch of supplies. Do you have any spare money? Do you want to stock up on some supplies? I don't want to listen. Investing is risky. It's a different era now. How can you make money by reselling supplies? I advise you to be down to earth and buy more bags and cosmetics. Cosmetics? Qianqiqi's eyes lit up, and she immediately pulled her bestie into the car and drove to Wonder Plaza. Suemi thought Qianqiqi had figured it out, and said in surprise, "Chichi, you finally got it. I told you a long time ago that women should live a refined life, and making money to support the family is a man's job." Before she finished speaking, she saw Qianqiqi running straight to the cosmetics area, and asked at the counter, "How many sunscreen products do you have? I want them all." The lady at the counter was confused. "What? Hurry up and take out all the sunscreen products." "Oh, wait a minute." The business was so big that the counter lady couldn't make the decision and went to find the supervisor. After some negotiations, the supervisor confirmed that Qianqiqi was not teasing her, so she readily took out all the sunscreen products in stock. Suemi looked resentful. "I thought you had come to your senses, but this is it." Qianqiqi smiled and comforted, "Okay, to compensate you, you can choose any set of cosmetics here today, and I'll pay for it." "Really? Really? Great, Chichi, I love you so much." Suemi was overjoyed, holding Qianqiqi's face and kissing her, and then happily choosing cosmetics. Only buy expensive ones, not the right ones. After buying all the sunscreen products in Wonder Plaza, she went to the home appliance area and bought a lot of electric fans and air conditioners. After returning home, she immediately asked the workers to move most of the supplies to the cold storage on the second floor of the basement, and only put a small part of the supplies in an empty room on the first floor, including 10 boxes of instant noodles, 10 boxes of ham sausages, 10 boxes of natural rice, etc. It was not until the evening that all the supplies were put into the warehouse. Then she placed an order online to install solar panels and also bought a high-power diesel generator online, asking the merchant to provide more diesel. Since Yang Shao next door was frantically purchasing goods every day, it was equivalent to covering for Qianqiqi, so no one knew that she also hoarded a large amount of supplies. After dinner, Suemi hugged her and said coquettishly, "Chichi, tomorrow is the weekend, let's go to the beach to play, okay?" Qianqiqi glared at her, "No, don't you see I'm busy stocking up? Go ahead, it's rare that we have time." "No, if you like playing in the water, there is a swimming pool at home, you can play as you like." "Humph, the swimming pool at home is not fun at all. Let's talk about it later, I still have to stock up tomorrow." "Still stocking up? Be careful not to get a big deal." Qianqiqi's eyes condensed slightly, and she couldn't help but carefully examine this bestie. If a natural disaster really breaks out soon, this bestie may implicate her. According to the law of killing the saint first and then the idiots in the end of the world, this woman must not be kept. But she was not crazy enough to kill her bestie based on guesswork, so she thought about it. Said to Suemi, I have guests coming to my house tonight, I'll drive you back to school later." Suemi pouted and complained, "What guests? Even I have to avoid them." Qianqiqi said unhappily, "Boyfriend." "Oh tilde, I understand, you want to be alone, I'll make room for you." "Who is your boyfriend?" "He's so well hidden, how come even I don't know?" "He just came back from abroad, of course you don't know." Qian Shiqi lied casually. Okay, then I'll go. Let's go. Qian Shiqi drove this dragging bestie back to school without hesitation. The next morning, the solar panel installers came, and Qian Shiqi asked them to finish the work as soon as possible, and they could pay more. Then the diesel generator was delivered, and 100L of diesel was also delivered. But she felt that this diesel was far from enough, so she bought 10 tons of private oil through a friend's special channel. After finishing these, she thought of another problem, that is, if the temperature continues to rise, will the air conditioner break down? So she immediately contacted the master to come and do anti-overheating treatment for the air conditioner. After all the preparations continued, Qian Shiqi felt safe. The door of her house has been specially modified and cannot be pried open with ordinary tools. If someone dares to break in, she will not reason with the other party. Self-defense counterattack is reasonable. At night, she carefully checked the information again and found that many places have high temperatures and water shortages, and there is still no rain anywhere in the world. She was very panicked, so she ordered another batch of stainless steel buckets, filled them up overnight, and sealed them for storage. With this batch of tap water, even if the water is cut off in the future, it will not affect her bathing. The movement next door naturally could not be hidden from Yang Shao's eyes, and he saw the whole process. I thought the girl next door was just a delicate and cute girl, but I didn't expect her to be so decisive and prepare all the supplies needed for the doomsday. As long as she hides well, she will definitely survive until the end of the doomsday. Just then, Qian Shiqi sent a message to Yang Shao, saying that she wanted to treat him to a meal and thank him for his valuable advice. Yang Shao was not hypocritical and happily accepted the appointment. Although Qian Shiqi was a small rich woman, she had good cooking skills and the food she made was very delicious. During the meal, she asked Yang Shao indirectly if he had any inside information. Yang Shao glanced at this clever little ghost, thought about it, and decided to give her some advice. Just treat it as the eve of the doomsday, and survive well. Don't let people know that you have so many supplies at home, and cry poor when you see people. But my best friend knows that I have hoarded a lot of supplies. What if she tells others about it? She only realized now that her best friend was a hidden danger. If she had known, she would not have let her go. Yang Shao thought for a moment and said, "How about you trick your best friend here and imprison her?" Are you serious? Qian Shiqi was shocked, but she didn't reject this plan. Yang Shao nodded, "Well, since you have so many supplies, just protect her. Then, I'll think about it." Chapter 12 Solar Storm. In the last few days, Shi Yubing and Liu Ruyan came to Yang Shao's house to help count the supplies whenever they were free, as if they were the mistresses of the villa. Interestingly, although the two had come several times, they had never met. This was all thanks to Yang Shao, the master of time management, who made the time of their visits perfectly staggered. Time passed quickly, and in a blink of an eye it was the 12-hour countdown to the end of the world. Yang Shao gave the workers of the ice factory and the pure water factory a 7-day holiday, and also subsidized each of them with 1 month's salary and 50 kilograms of rice. After the workers left, he put all the inventory and equipment in the factory into space, maybe they would be used in the future. Afterwards, Liu Ruyan called Yang Shao and said in panic, "Yang Shao, save me." Huh? What happened? After a conversation, it was learned that Liu Ruyan's husband had discovered that she had cheated on him a long time ago, so he secretly planned revenge. He and Liu Ruyan's best friend worked together to cheat Liu Ruyan of nearly 10 million yuan in savings under the guise of investing in a big project, and then coaxed her to go to the bank for a loan, mortgaged her house, and finally borrowed 20 million yuan in high-interest loans. Now her husband and her best friend have both run away. The two of them immigrated to Malaysia and were living happily together, but left the mess to Liu Ruyan. Now the loan sharks came to her house and threatened to arrest her and make her a prostitute if she didn't pay back the money, which scared her so much that she called the police. But the loan sharks didn't do anything out of the ordinary, so the police could only give a verbal warning. At this point, only Yang Shao could save her. "I didn't expect this couple to betray me. They are so hateful." Yang Shao comforted her, "It's okay. I'm here. Pack your luggage and I'll pick you up at my house in the evening." "Okay." Liu Ruyan was deeply moved. A blessing in disguise. Although she was betrayed, she could live with Yang Shao legitimately, which was a big win overall. Yang Shao thought about it and decided to bring Shi Yubing to their villa to prevent her from dying when the doomsday came. After all, the first wave of the doomsday was very deadly. As a result, Xie Yubing was invited by her friends to go to the neighboring city. Her sister was a serious doomsday fan. She bought an abandoned air raid shelter last year. After a year of renovation, it was finally completed 2 days ago, so she couldn't wait to invite Xie Yubing to visit. Hearing the news, Yang Shao's mouth twitched slightly, and he had to give up. In the evening, Liu Ruyan just got home from get off work, and several loan sharks blocked her door, shouting at her to pay back the money. Liu Ruyan was frightened and called Yang Shao immediately. Yang Shao, they are here to collect debts again, come and save me. Yang Shao comforted, don't worry, I'll come now. Okay, I'll wait for you. After getting Yang Shao's promise, Liu Ruyan felt relieved and relied on Yang Shao to the extreme. After a while, Yang Shao came to the door of Liu Ruyan's house and saw several gangsters shouting. He walked over with a gloomy face. What are you arguing about? You are disturbing the people, do you know? A burly man rolled up his sleeves, revealing his strong muscles. Boy, we are collecting debts, this has nothing to do with you. If you know what's good for you, get out of here quickly, otherwise I'll let you taste the taste of my fist. You are idiots, you don't even know that your husband is using you as a gun. Hearing that this kid dared to call them idiots, several gangsters were immediately unhappy. Boy, who are you scolding? Yang Shao said calmly, aren't you idiots? Her husband cheated on her bestie, not only swindled all her savings, but also mortgaged the house, and you became the victim. Now instead of going to her husband to recover the losses, you are bullying a woman who has nothing here. How much losses can you recover? Where are your brains? HMPH, if we know where her husband is, do we still need to trouble her? Now it is a society ruled by law, and the efforts to crack down on gangs and eliminate evil are very strong. If Liu Ruyan refuses to obey, these gangsters can't do anything to her. They know this very well, so they can only scare her. Yang Shao grinned, I heard that her husband ran away to Malaysia and took away more than 50 million in savings. You should have a way to find him, right? It would be reasonable to ask him to pay you 50 million as hard work fee at that time. When they heard that the other party actually had more than 50 million, several gangsters were immediately tempted. People in their line of work must have their own channels abroad, especially in places like Southeast Asia, where it only takes a few minutes to find someone. Boy, you didn't lie to us, did you? Har har, do I need to lie to you? Besides, her home is here, the monk can run away but the temple cannot, what are you worried about? Yang Shao's eyes condensed slightly, and a cold light flashed across his face. It was obvious that he had no patience to waste time with them. If they didn't listen to the advice, they could only get rid of them here. It's just that it might be a little troublesome to deal with the body. Hearing this, the gangsters felt that it made sense. Anyway, they knew Liu Ruyan's home address and company address. If they couldn't find anyone there, it wouldn't be too late for them to find trouble with Liu Ruyan. Okay, I'll give you this face today. I hope you don't lie to us, otherwise you will end up miserably. The gangster leader made a harsh remark and quickly retreated with his brothers. After years of being in the underworld, he considered himself a ruthless man, but he just felt the murderous intent in Yang Shao's eyes. Intuition told him that if they continued to pester him, their end would be miserable, so he took advantage of the situation and ran away. Yang Shao smiled and knocked on the door gently. Big D, it's me, open the door quickly. Hearing that it was Yang Shao's voice, Liu Ruyan looked through the cat's eye and made sure that no one else was present, so she quickly opened the door and pulled him in. Then she closed the door and threw herself into his arms and cried. You are finally here, I was scared to death just now. Yang Shao gently stroked her soft jade back and comforted her softly, it's okay, I have sent them away. Liu Ruyan wondered, why would they listen to you? I told them that your husband had embezzled more than 50 million and ran to Malaysia, so they were tempted. He. You are so bad, I like you so much. Liu Ruyan burst into laughter, her eyes were as charming as silk. Okay, have you packed your things? Let's move over now. Yeah, it's packed. Let's go quickly, lest those bastards come back. Liu Ruyan hurriedly pulled out a few suitcases as if she was running for her life, and went back to the villa with Yang Shao. Husband, it's so hot. In the early morning, when young people are most active, a young couple had just finished their business. The woman wanted to open the window to breathe fresh air, but found that the window was very hot. You little goblin, are you looking for excitement by the window again? The man didn't believe it, thinking that his little wife was playing tricks again, trying to lure him to the window again. As a result, when he reached out to touch the glass, a burning sensation came over him, and he retracted his hand as a conditioned reflex. Oh my God, it's really hot, what happened? The couple looked out the window at the same time, their eyes widened, their faces pale, their hearts pounding, and the feeling of fear spread throughout their bodies in an instant. The woman swallowed her saliva and said hesitantly, "Old husband, what happened?" Everywhere I looked, there were raging fires. The sirens spread throughout the streets and alleys, and the noisy sounds rang out in every corner of the community. Looking into the distance, half of the sky was burned red, like a big pot on a raging fire, a doomsday scene. Boom! The gas station not far from the community exploded without warning, scaring the residents to scream. Liu Ruyan, who was sleeping soundly in Yang Shao's arms, was also awakened by the noise outside the house, and suddenly felt a little unhappy. Damn, why is it so noisy outside? Can't I sleep? Yang Shao showed a meaningful smile. Maybe the sky is falling. Humph, even if the sky falls, you can't disturb my sleep. Liu Ruyan was in a bad mood when she got up. She lifted the quilt, put on pajamas and planned to go out to find out. Just as she opened the door, a wave of heat came over, scaring her to scream and quickly closed the door. It's so hot, what happened? Yang Shao walked over slowly, took out a can of Lecco from the refrigerator, and sat on the sofa. Just look at the news. Oh, yes, look at the news. Such a strange thing, she believed that there must be news on the internet. But when she opened her mobile phone, she found that the authorities had issued 3 high-temperature warnings in just 10 minutes. 10 minutes ago, she was so tired from climbing the peak that she fell asleep. At that time, the official released the first message, saying that the solar storm suddenly broke out, and the Western Hemisphere was hit head-on, and most areas turned into a sea of fire. The second message was that the solar storm was fierce and difficult to contain, and it was likely to sweep the world. The third message was an urgent reminder for residents to move to air raid shelters or basements to avoid being burned by the aftermath of the solar storm. It was just that in the early morning, serious people had already gone to bed, and those who were not serious were busy with other things, so few people saw the news. Although the city sounded the air defense alarm, people had lost their vigilance due to living in a comfortable environment for a long time, so they didn't take the air defense alarm seriously at all, thinking it was another drill. Many flammable materials were ignited by the aftermath of the solar storm, causing large-scale fires. Chemical plants, storage bases, wholesale markets, large shopping malls and supermarkets, where a large number of flammable materials were concentrated, were the first to suffer. Many power equipment was ignited and damaged, causing large-scale power outages. For a time, the whole city was engulfed in a sea of fire, like hell on earth, with people screaming, asking for help and crying everywhere. There were not enough firefighters, so people from other departments took over. There were not enough medical staff, so students majoring in medicine were pulled in to make up for it. Those who were not professional firefighters went to put out some small fires, and those who were not professional rescuers helped out. Everyone is equal in the face of disaster. Some big VS and well-known internet celebrities issued articles calling on all those who can take action to participate in the rescue, so as to minimize casualties and property losses. Liu Ruyan saw the news, sweating coldly and trembling. What is going on? Isn't it obvious? The end of the world has come. What did you say? How is this possible? Liu Ruyan was unwilling to believe it and did not accept the end of the world. Yang Shao spread his hands. What else? The Western Hemisphere is gone, and the Eastern Hemisphere has also been severely damaged. With this solar storm, it is estimated that the world will lose 70% to 80% of the population. Do you think the world order will collapse? Hearing this, Liu Ruyan was speechless and was frightened to death. Then, what should we do? Should we go out and help save people? Yang Shao said calmly, if you want to die, go ahead. What do you mean? Ultraviolet radiation. Liu Ruyan was confused. Where does the ultraviolet radiation come from in the middle of the night? Yang Shao explained, the ultraviolet rays brought by the solar storm cover the entire world, and even at night it is not something that ordinary people can bear. If a beautiful woman like you walks outside, she may be 7/10 cooked when she comes back. This. I just opened the door and was blown by the hot wind. Will I be okay? Liu Ruyan panicked and hurried back to the room to look in the mirror, fearing that there would be no traces left. Yang Shao walked to the window, stared at the fiery red sky, and sighed helplessly. Alas, in this life, I don't know how many people will die again. It was the same in the previous life. The sun sneezed and happened to spray the Western Hemisphere, and then the Western Hemisphere turned into a sea of fire. Many people died on the spot, and more died after being tortured by ultraviolet radiation for several days due to lack of medicine. Fortunately, the Western Hemisphere suffered first, giving the Eastern Hemisphere some time to make an emergency response plan. Just then, Shi Yubing called and asked Yang Shao if he was okay. It was obvious that she was very worried. Yang Shao smiled and said, "Don't worry, I'm at home, very safe. How about you?" "Oh, then I'm relieved. I'm in my bestie's safe house, and I don't dare to go out now." "Well, it's right not to go out. The ultraviolet rays outside are seriously exceeding the standard now, and it's easy to get hurt, so you'd better not go out recently." Is it that serious?" "Believe me, you will know soon. By the way, don't open the door to anyone, even if the most pitiful person knocks on the door, you have to pretend not to know. At the same time, there are some self-defense weapons to prevent someone from breaking in. It won't be that chaotic, right?" Shi Yubing obviously didn't believe it. Now it's a society ruled by law. Who dares to break into a private residence? Yang Shao said seriously, "Listen to me, it's the end of the world now. People's hearts are terrible. In order to survive, they can do anything crazy. Then, what should we do? Are we going to be trapped here forever?" Shi Yubing panicked. Although she was reluctant to believe in the doomsday talk, the predicament in front of her was real. How long can the food in your safe house last? Probably more than 2 months. Shi Yubing glanced at the snacks, canned noodles, ham sausages and other supplies piled in the corner, and it was hard to describe. More than 2 months. Yang Shao thought for a while and said, "Then you save some food and hold on for 3 months. I will pick you up then." According to the plot of the previous life, the ultraviolet index will be greatly reduced after 3 months, and humans can still resist it if they take good protection. The temperature will also drop to more than 40 degrees at night, which is suitable for travel. At that time, he will take Shi Yubing over to warm his bed. "Yeah, I'll wait for you, and you should also pay attention to safety." "Okay." After hanging up the phone, Yang Shao opened the owner group, and it was really in an uproar. "Oh my god, help, our house is on fire, and the firefighters are all fighting fires elsewhere, what should we do?" "It's not your family that is on fire, but your entire building is on fire. There are fires everywhere in the city now, and the firefighters are too busy to deal with it. It's also a mess outside, and no one will come to put out the fire, so you'd better run away quickly. That's right, wet the quilt or thick clothes and wrap yourself up, cover your mouth and nose with a wet towel, and go down the stairs." The owners in the group gave advice to the owners of building number 3 and building number 2, which were on fire. The 2 buildings are next to the roadside, and the first floor is a shop, which was unfortunately caught on fire. The fire is not too fierce now, and there is still a glimmer of hope if you hurry up and escape. After seeing the news, the owners of building number 3 and building number 2 quickly followed the instructions, took the quilt to the bathroom, wet it, and then covered their mouths and noses with wet towels and ran. Those with children ran with their children on their backs, saving as many as they could. Some owners were not idle either, and spontaneously ran to the fire pipes, connected the water pipes, and desperately flushed the fire. Some people were watching the excitement, and some were giving blind instructions on the side, and the scene was very chaotic. Some people were shooting videos, and some were live streaming. They tried to get closer to the fire scene, hoping to attract a large amount of traffic. The burning sensation on their bodies did not scare off these video bloggers and anchors, but instead made them feel excited. Burn, burn, these are all traffic, all money. Unprofessional firefighting techniques can only slow down the spread of the fire, but cannot put it out. Chapter 13 Natural disasters are merciless. After more than 10 minutes, the fire had completely engulfed the 2 buildings, and no one could escape. Everyone just watched the raging fire engulf the 2 apartment buildings, and for a moment they didn't know what to say. Boom 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 tilde tilde. From time to time, there were a few roars in the fire, and debris flew everywhere, scaring everyone to retreat, but unwilling to leave. The survivors who lost their homes collapsed on the ground in despair. Some were confused, and some burst into tears. The atmosphere was very sad. My house, my house. An old lady cried hoarsely, rolling on the ground, heartbroken. Please, save my husband. He just went back to save my mother-in-law, and he hasn't come out yet. My daughter is still inside. Dad. Mom. The sad mood spread quickly, and the survivors of buildings 2 and 3 cried one after another, which made people feel pity. The fire burned for a whole night before it was extinguished. Only the black frames of the 2 buildings were left. Many family members took the risk to go up the stairs, as if they were looking for some thoughts. The fire brigade arrived late, dragging their tired bodies, staring blankly at the 2 burned residential buildings, grief-stricken. They had tried very hard, putting out the fire all night, and even sacrificed many comrades, but the result was just a drop in the bucket. Some family members rushed up to vent their anger, but seeing their exhausted appearance, they couldn't say the curse on their lips. Everyone was silent and joined the cleanup work silently. This is probably the last warmth in the world. Yang Shao recorded this scene through a drone and sighed softly. Why do you say that? Liu Ruyan looked at Yang Shao curiously. The 2 stayed up all night, watching the news all the time. Didn't I say it? The end of the world has come. It won't be long before the surviving humans will go crazy and kill each other for food and water. How can we see such a heartwarming scene at that time? Is it really? Liu Ruyan wanted to refute a few words, but she was speechless when she saw this doomsday scene. The overwhelming news on the internet almost all reported fires in various places. In many places, no one put out the fire, and it burned all night, causing immeasurable losses. As Yang Shao said, many people who participated in the rescue had severe skin burns and a series of symptoms such as fever, dehydration, and shock. Hospitals are overcrowded, seriously understaffed, and drugs are extremely scarce. People in many departments are so busy that they can't even touch the ground. They wish they could break it in half to use. The official notice issued a 3-day holiday across the country. Do not go out unless necessary, do not cause trouble to the country, and stay at home and wait for rescue. It's so scary, Yang Shao, I'm scared. She looked at Yang Shao eagerly, looking pitiful. Yang Shao held her in his arms and rubbed her, comforting her. Don't worry, as long as we stay at home and don't go out, there will be no problem. Liu Ruyan suddenly came to her senses and asked in shock, did you foresee this natural disaster a long time ago, so you built this safe house in advance? Well, I counted on my fingers. You are great. Fortunately, I followed you, otherwise I would be in trouble now. Liu Ruyan didn't want to listen to his calculations, she just knew that she had bet on the right treasure, and she was very proud of it. Yang Shao smiled, speaking of which, there won't be any loopholes in this safe house, right? I don't want someone to break into their house in the middle of the night. Liu Ruyan puffed up her face and said angrily, Humph, who are you looking down on? This is a safe house that I designed and supervised myself, how could there be any problems? At that time, she had a secret crush on Yang Shao and regarded herself as the mistress, so she chose the best materials and workers for the safe house. Really? Then you are really good. Yang Shao scratched her nose and smiled. Liu Ruyan burrowed into his arms, continued to read the news, and suddenly exclaimed. My God, experts say that the highest temperature of the solar storm last night reached a terrifying 110. Although the peak was only for a moment, it almost ignited the entire Western Hemisphere, causing countless civilians to be burned. Although the temperature has dropped now, it is still frighteningly high. It's only 8 o'clock in the morning, and the temperature has already climbed to 52. The ultraviolet index is seriously exceeded. Now many people are frantically buying supplies outside. Do you think we should also stock up some supplies? They were at home with the air conditioner on, so they naturally didn't know how hot it was outside. Yang Shao rolled his eyes at her, the ultraviolet rays are so strong, you go to buy. I'm not going, it's so hot. Liu Ruyan stuck out her tongue, clearly choosing to protect herself. You can hardly buy anything even if you go out. There was such a big fire last night. Many supplies were burned. The days ahead will be difficult. That's right. Are our supplies okay? Liu Ruyan was very worried. That batch of supplies was their last resort. There must be no accidents. Yang Shao nodded, don't worry. They are all in the cold storage. There will be no problems. I'll go and have a look. Liu Ruyan was still worried and decided to go to the cold storage to have a look. Come to the second underground floor, open the cold storage, and find rice, flour, grain, oil, fast-moving food, and various snacks and drinks piled up. Seeing so many things, Liu Ruyan breathed a sigh of relief. This cold storage is not big, with less than 100 cubic meters of space. If they save some food, it will be enough for the two of them to eat for half their lives. But strange, where is my lobster? And where is my king crab? She searched the cold storage but didn't find the seafood feast she had been thinking about. She was immediately puzzled. I remember I personally counted 50 boxes of seafood and several tons of fresh beef. Where did all these top ingredients go? With doubts, she hurried to ask Yang Shao. Dear, why are there so few things in the cold storage? Didn't you buy a lot of goods before? Yang Shao smiled and said, I hid them in a safe place. Just tell me what you want to eat in the future. Really? Of course, why would I lie to you? Okay, I want to eat lobster. Eat early in the morning. Then eat it in the evening. By the way, I want to send a video to Gao Jian, the bastard, to piss him off. And Marley, that bitch, I want to make her regret it. Gao Jian is Liu Ruyan's husband, and Marley is her best friend. The two of them colluded and cheated all her savings, and even let the loan sharks come to collect the debt. She hated the couple. So she ran to the cold storage to record a video, returned to the living room, lay in Yang Shao's arms, and made a video call to her ex-husband. Chapter 14 Video Confrontation. After Gao Jian connected the video, he saw Liu Ruyan lying in a man's arms, and he was immediately angry and yelled, Bitch, you really cheated on me. Liu Ruyan sneered, It's the same for everyone. By the way, Marley's mistress must be by your side, why don't you show up? A delicate face soon appeared on the other side of the video, but it was made up with cosmetics at a glance, and it couldn't be compared with her. Liu Ruyan was very angry when she saw this bitch, and she scolded loudly, Marley, I treat you as my best friend, but you stole my house, you are such a shameless bitch. Marley looked embarrassed, but still said stubbornly, Brother Jian and I are truly in love. If you want to blame someone, blame you for not knowing how to cherish and complaining about him all day long. I am different, I only feel sorry for my brother. Har har, if you say so, then so. He is just a loser with kidney failure, so what if I give him to you? You are talking nonsense, Brother Jian is in good health. Har har, that's just because he relies on drugs to support himself. The doctor has issued a diagnosis. If you don't believe me, look for it and see if there are any small pills. Hearing this, Marley actually started to explore Gao Jian. Gao Jian hurriedly stopped her, Hey, what are you doing? Can't you see that she is trying to sow discord? So that's it. Ruyan Emperor is so insidious. I almost fell for her trick. Liu Ruyan's mouth twitched slightly. She thought that her best friend's brain was really not working. No wonder she was fooled by Gao Jian, that idiot. Forget it, if you say it is true, then it is true. You should know what happened now, right? Money will soon be worthless. Gao Jian, what if you took all the money with all your efforts? Can you rely on money to fill your stomach or cool down in the future? Hearing this, Gao Jian's face was gloomy, and he gritted his teeth and said, So what, you are not much better. After that, he hung up the phone angrily. Now that ultraviolet radiation is so serious, the risk of going out is too great, so they dare to hide at home. But there are not many supplies at home, only enough for them to survive for a few days, so he is very irritable now. At this moment, Liu Ruyan sent a short video, which was shot exactly the batch of supplies in the cold storage, and was accompanied by a voice. Har har, my good ex-husband, did you see that? I have more supplies than I can finish, and I have a cold storage to cool down. How comfortable my life is. And you, what do you have? You have nothing except a mistress, hee hee. Gao Jian was furious, and he wanted to kill her right now. The community is facing serious problems at this time. 2 buildings burned down last night, leaving hundreds of people homeless. Nearby hotels were burned down or full, and there was no extra place to accommodate them. And they could not be exposed to the super strong ultraviolet rays, so they could only stay in the basement and wait for rescue. Fortunately, the water supply in the community is still normal, and the street office has applied for some supplies, which is enough for them to eat for 1 or 2 days. As for what to do after 2 days, maybe the disaster will be over by then, and social order will be restored. They can go to work and rest normally, and wait for economic compensation with peace of mind. With such a huge loss, how much compensation should they ask from the government? If they are not satisfied with the compensation, they will make a scene and will not give up unless they get tens of millions. For a while, in the underground parking lot and in the owner group, almost everyone was discussing post-disaster reconstruction and compensation. They were having a great time and were very optimistic about the future. However, there are also sober people who have a thorough understanding of the situation and express their views in the group. I advise everyone not to be too optimistic. This disaster is global, and the Western Hemisphere has suffered a devastating blow. The global economy may regress 100 years, and even order may collapse. I suggest that you make plans early, actively save yourself, and don't have too much hope for the country. Brother, be careful with your words. Today, the country is strong, the people are rich, and the world is peaceful and prosperous. How can it be as serious as you say? That's right. Our country is so prosperous and strong, how could it be defeated by a mere natural disaster? That's right. Believe in our country and believe that the organization will not abandon us. We just need to wait for rescue with peace of mind. Seeing these remarks, the sober brother did not argue and posted a video of consumers queuing in a supermarket to check out. I'm not exaggerating, facts speak louder than words. I'm queuing up to check out at the supermarket now. The food and beverage areas have been sold out long ago. I was lucky to get a little. Let's not talk about anything else. Even if there is national rescue, when will they arrive? There are disaster victims all over the country. Can the government rescue them? If they are late for a few days, can you wait for a few days without food or drink? After this, many people sobered up a little. Yes, if the rescue team arrives a few days later, won't I starve to death? My family doesn't have any food stored at all. It can only last for 1 or 2 days. What if the rescue is delayed by then? What should I do? For a while, the atmosphere of panic spread in the group, and many people said they would go out to buy supplies. Even if it was hot, it would be better than starving to death. Seeing these news, Aunt Wang, the director of the neighborhood committee, frowned and was very unhappy. These unruly people dared to discuss national affairs. They really didn't know how high the sky was and how deep the earth was. She had to rectify this unhealthy trend. So she said in the group, everyone, please be careful with your words. Any news that has not been officially confirmed is a rumor. I hope everyone will not believe in it or spread it. The disaster is only temporary. Everyone should believe in our country and organization. The official will not give up on anyone. Please wait patiently for rescue. And the owner just now, please stop spreading rumors immediately. Otherwise, don't worry about me being ruthless. I will bring the police to arrest you after the disaster. Har har, it's ridiculous. What rumor did I spread? I just made a judgment based on the actual situation. You said that the official will not give up on anyone, so why did hundreds of people burn to death last night? Aren't they human beings? Aunt Wang, I ask you, if there is another fire like last night, and the firefighters are not there, and someone dies, will you be responsible? Comrade, please watch your words. Some things are not for ordinary people to discuss. You are suspected of making rumors and disturbing public order. Just based on these 2 points, I have the right to punish you. Har har har. Aunt Wang, you are really arrogant and self-righteous. To put it bluntly, your neighborhood committee is just a non-governmental organization, and it doesn't even have a staff. Who gives you the power to enforce the law? Aunt Wang is a very face-conscious person. She usually shows off her power everywhere. How can she swallow this bad breath? So the two quarreled without any warning. Chapter 15, Rush to buy supplies. Some people couldn't stand it anymore and stepped forward to mediate. Okay, stop arguing, the most urgent thing is to go out and buy supplies. If you are late, you may not be able to buy them. Yeah, if you have time to argue here, you might as well go buy supplies. Auntie Wang saw that these unruly people obviously didn't trust her, and she was furious. She sent a message to stop them, don't rush to buy supplies. This will only cause prices to rise and increase pressure on the authorities. We must believe in the authorities and the organization. Rescue will definitely come. Har har, then tell me when the rescue will arrive. I have received a notice from my superiors. The rescue will arrive in 3 days at the latest. Auntie Wen lied. She said this just to tell everyone that I am a member of the organization and can contact my superiors. You unruly people better be polite to me. But everyone didn't buy it and sent messages back. What, 3 days? I don't have a grain of rice at home. I will starve to death in 3 days. That's right, you said 3 days, what if rescue doesn't come by then? Don't waste time here. Go out and stock up some supplies while the sun is not the hottest. That makes sense. Stocking up is important. Everyone was too lazy to waste time with Aunt Wang and prepared to go out shopping. Aunt Wang was furious and felt that her official power was unprecedentedly challenged. So she sent a message angrily, let's see who dares. Today I'm putting my words here. If anyone dares to go out and buy supplies, I will record it. After the disaster is over, our neighborhood committee will report it truthfully, and then you will be punished for disturbing public order. However, everyone was highly educated and didn't buy it at all. Are you an idiot? Do you understand the freedom of buying and selling? Consumption is the birthright of every citizen. Who the hell are you? Who gave you the right to stop us? Believe it or not, I will call the police to arrest you and sue you for infringement. That's right, I'm just short of money, otherwise I would buy all the goods in the city. What do you care? Go away quickly, ignore the stupid woman in the neighborhood committee, so as not to lower your IQ. Seeing these unruly people disobeying discipline, Aunt Wang stamped her feet in anger, but she could do nothing about it. When people give her face, she is Director Wang, and when they don't, she is Aunt Wang. Yang Shao smiled without saying a word, and was about to put away his mobile phone when he received a call from Mr. Wang, the owner of the tea shop. Boss Yang, how are you doing? Are you okay? I'm fine, but 2 buildings burned down in the community and many people died. What's this? It's really an unexpected disaster. By the way, you asked me to help you purchase supplies before. I got 60 tons of rice, and other specialties added up to 7 or 8 tons. What should I do now? Yang Shao was surprised, you don't want to send it to me. Boss Wang smiled awkwardly, har, I do want to, but the current conditions obviously don't allow it. Har, keep that batch of supplies. It's the end of the world now. Supplies are life. What did you say? Boss Wang was stunned and didn't react for a while. Yang Shao said in a serious tone, I'm not kidding you. Listen, if you want to survive, you have to listen to me. Seeing that the other party didn't seem to be joking, Boss Wang suddenly became more serious. Brother, you talk, I'm listening. First, find a way to get a batch of controlled knives for self-defense. If conditions permit, you can make some crossbows. It would be best if you can get firearms. Second, find a few reliable people to form a force, and then slowly grow and expand, so as not to be killed by others and robbed of supplies. Third, stock up more water. This disaster will last for a long time. In the future, water will be the most precious resource. Whoever has more water will be the boss. Fourth, get some generators and fuel back. There will definitely be power outages in the future. These are all I can think of for now. Oh, and there are also medicines, especially sunscreen medicines. Get more. Point. Boss Wang carefully wrote down all these suggestions. I have a brother who is a welder. He has tools and steel at home, which can help him make a batch of long knives. As for water, we are in a rural area, and many people have wells at home, so there is no shortage of water for the time being. Medicines can be bought at pharmacies, and generators are also easy to get, but fuel is a bit troublesome. What suggestions do you have, brother? Fuel can be bought at gas stations for free, or private oil can be bought. I don't have any other suggestions. The only thing I want to remind you is that the Virgin Mary should be killed first at the end of the world, and there must be no mercy, otherwise there will be endless troubles and harm others and yourself. I understand, brother, you too, you must take care of yourself, and I hope we can all survive. Yes. After ending the call, Liu Ruyan looked at him strangely. Why are you looking at me like that? I'm curious. Since you care so much about this brother, why don't you tell him the news in advance? You are talking without any hesitation. If I tell him in advance, will he believe it? That's true. Since you suggested that he form his own power, do you have this plan? Yang Shao nodded without denying it. He did have the plan to form a power. If he didn't have his own power in the end times, he would be eaten up by others sooner or later. It's just that forming a power is not a matter of one day or one night. He has to find a group of capable people first, and then slowly expand. Liu Ruyan nestled in his arms, like a well-behaved cat. No matter what you do, I support you, as long as you treat me well. Well, as long as you behave, I will never let you down. Hee hee. Before noon, those who went out to buy supplies ran back in a swarm, and then complained in the group. Damn, it's so hot, I almost got a heat stroke. The streets are full of acquaintances, I almost got a medium rare. I almost got a medium rare, it's great to be back alive. There are too many wolves and too little meat, now the streets are full of people rushing to buy supplies, most of the stores are empty. I also saw people killing and robbing in the street, but no one cared, it's terrible. Have you watched the news? The World Trade Center just caught fire, the people inside desperately ran out, causing a serious stampede. It's so scary. Auntie Wang was very proud of these remarks, and immediately felt that she was fine again. She couldn't wait to send a message in the group, at everyone, you saw it, who told you to act on your own and not listen to the advice of the elders. You are suffering now. Okay, Aunt Wang, you have time to talk hindsight, why not contact the organization and urge them to send people to rescue as soon as possible? Yes, 2 buildings were burned down, so many people are homeless, this matter must be resolved as soon as possible. Chapter 16 Supplies are in short supply. Auntie Wang replied confidently, don't worry, everyone. I have reported the situation in the community. I believe the organization will soon send a specialist to properly resettle them. What about food? The supplies distributed by the street office today are not enough for our community. Now we can't buy anything outside. What do you think we should do? Yes, don't you residence committees usually take care of everything? Now it's your turn to play a role. Those supplies are for the people in buildings 2 and 3. Don't think about it. What should we do? We are also disaster victims now. The authorities can't favor one over the other, right? Auntie Wang, please say something. It's time to show the value of the neighborhood committee. These questions stumped Auntie Wang. She was just pretending to be rich. How could she know what the organization had decided? But if she couldn't reassure everyone, she would lose her reputation and her official prestige, so she decided to push a poor guy out to bear the anger of the people. Everyone, if you want to blame someone for this, blame Yang Jian. If he hadn't purchased a large amount of supplies a few days ago, our Qinher city wouldn't be short of supplies. Yang Jian. When did Erlang Zhenjuan come down to earth to buy goods? Why didn't I know? Auntie Wang, you must be talking about Yang Shao, right? He was the one who was frantically stockpiling goods a few days ago. Trucks lined up in a long queue. I thought he was going to set up a wholesale market. Yes, it's Yang Shao. During this period, more than a dozen or even dozens of trucks of goods were pulled into his house every day. If you really need supplies, you can buy some from him. Auntie Wang was very proud. She successfully shifted all the conflicts to Yang Shao with this move, making him the target of public criticism. Everyone thought it made sense, so they tagged him in the group. Can you sell me some food and water? I'm willing to pay 1.5 times the market price. And me, I'm willing to buy at a high price too. Brother Yang Shao, please sell some food to them, I'm so hungry. Da. Suddenly finding that many people in the group tagged him, Yang Shao was a little curious. He opened his phone and looked at it, and his face suddenly became as dark as water. This damn old witch, I think she is tired of living. Liu Ruyan asked curiously, what's wrong? You can tell by looking at the owner group. Oh. After Liu Ruyan understood the cause and effect, she was furious. Does the supplies our family buy have anything to do with them? Why should we sell them to them? She knew very well that people are greedy and will never stop eating. This loophole must not be opened, otherwise everyone will come to them to buy supplies in the future, and then they will become the scapegoats, right? Yang Shao was relieved to see that she was not a saint at all, and smiled, don't worry, I'm not stupid, just watch me. He opened the photo album, found a donation certificate and sent it to the group, at everyone, in fact, that batch of materials was purchased by a mysterious rich man and donated to the poor mountainous areas. It has been taken away long ago. This is the certificate issued by the police station. The document clearly stated that Yang Shao donated materials worth 15 billion to the poor mountainous areas, with the official seal of the police station and the signature of the director. Everyone was dumbfounded, and it took a minute to recover. Fuck, you are such a good man. You do good things without leaving yourself a way out. How cruel. Yang Shao, you are really. Oh, what can I say about you? If they had taken it away a few days later, would we still have to worry about food? How can you be so generous, you spendthrift? 15 billion supplies. If they hadn't been donated, they would be enough for us to eat for a lifetime. Oh, you are such a good man, it's really speechless. Everyone blamed Yang Shao. If he donated so many things at ordinary times, he would definitely be praised. But now everyone is facing a food crisis, and his good deeds are very hateful. Yang Shao said with a smile, I'm sorry, I'm just doing things for others. I can't help it. Please understand. At this point, there is no point in saying more. Everyone had to let Yang Shao go and kick the ball back to the neighborhood committee director who wanted to control everything but had no ability. Aunt Wang was struck by lightning, and she felt her heart was bleeding, as if the 15 billion supplies donated by Yang Shao were hers. Damn it, Yang Shao, you idiot, how can you do charity? Can't you leave the supplies and share them equally with everyone? She was angry, but she still had to do her business. Faced with the questions from the masses, she could only use the tactic of procrastination. The organization is arranging people and will solve the problem soon. Please wait patiently. Aunt Wang, I want to ask, how to arrange for the owners of buildings 2 and 3? You can't let them sleep on the street, right? Aunt Wang thought for a while and replied, after the discussion of the neighborhood committee, we hope that the owners with spare rooms in their homes can temporarily accept them. After the disaster is over, the organization will arrange new residences for them. As soon as this was said, everyone said that there were no spare rooms at home and they could not live there. What a joke, who is willing to let strangers live in their homes? Even in normal times, they are not willing, not to mention that now when they can't protect themselves, they may even let wolves into their house, which is too risky. Besides, food is scarce now, and one more person means one more mouth to feed. They really want to be the scapegoat. Of course, if the other party is a very beautiful girl and is willing to give it to her for free, that would be another matter. Seeing that everyone was shirking their responsibilities, Auntie Wang was furious, but she couldn't do anything about them. Finally, after discussion by the neighborhood committee, it was decided to discuss with the property department to temporarily arrange the homeless people to unoccupied houses. The occupancy rate of this community is about 60%, and 40% of the houses are empty, or renovated but unoccupied, or rough houses, which can fully accommodate these hundreds of people. After some discussion, the property department agreed to arrange them into rough houses. As for the renovated houses, everyone should not dream about it. This is already the best outcome, and no one can say anything. The high temperature caused damage to many power equipment, and a large area of the city was blacked out, resulting in insufficient water pressure and water supply in many places. The community was also deeply affected, and there was not a drop of water on the high floors. The continuous exposure to the sun made the building like a huge steamer, and it was impossible to stay there, so many people chose to hide in the underground parking lot. The parking lot was on the second floor below ground, which was relatively cool. But with the influx of a large number of people, the temperature rose rapidly and it was hot. Some people were very smart and simply got in the car and turned on the air conditioner. Seeing that there was such a trick, many car owners followed suit. So many crouching dragons and phoenixes started the car together, emitting a lot of hot air, causing the temperature of the underground garage to soar rapidly, and soon reached 50. The owners who didn't get in the car couldn't stand it and asked those car owners to turn off the engine. But people are selfish, and those car owners certainly won't give up the right to enjoy the air conditioning. I have a car and money, so I am happy to burn oil like this. What does it have to do with you? If you have the guts, try to touch my car and see how much money you can pay. So the two sides had a fierce quarrel and almost got into a fight. It was hot enough, but now it's getting hotter. Chapter 17 Owners destroy parking lots. Owners who don't have cars in the basement were sweating and miserable, but they didn't dare to really smash the cars. After all, no one's money comes from the wind. Seeing that they couldn't stay in the underground garage, many owners moved to other places. Some ran to the shade of the trees to cool off, but now the air outside is hot, not to mention the strong ultraviolet rays. Leaving the basement is no different from committing suicide. But except for the trees and the basement, there is no place to escape the heat in the entire community. For a time, public resentment was boiling, and everyone was holding back a lot of anger. Some owners complained to the property management and asked them to stop those who turned on the air conditioner in the underground garage. Under pressure from public opinion, the property management staff had to come forward to persuade them, hoping that those car owners would not be too selfish and think more about others. As a result, the car owners were very arrogant, pointing at the nose of the property management and cursing, "You are a bunch of traitors, are the property management fees I pay every month just for feeding dogs. If we don't pay the property management fees, you are nothing. Now you dare to meddle in our affairs, get out of here." Hearing this, the faces of other owners changed drastically, and their eyes on these car owners became very unfriendly. Speaking of this, we have to mention the difficult growth path of the property management in this community. Generally speaking, the power comparison between the property management and the owners has always been one of growth and decline. As long as the owner is strong enough, the property management is the grandson, and vice versa, the owner is the grandson. Most of the owners in this community are very tough, and they have forced 3 property management companies to leave before. The reason is that those owners who bought houses but did not move in did not pay the property management fees, resulting in all the common costs falling on the owners who have already moved in. Everyone was dissatisfied, and later they simply stopped paying the water and electricity bills, whatever they wanted. In this way, the community often cuts off water and electricity due to arrears. The property management company could not collect the water and electricity fees, and lost a lot of money. In the end, the loss was too great, so they just packed up and ran away. Later, 2 more property management companies came to take over, but they all ran away in the same way. Later, no property management company dared to come. It is not a solution for the community to be in a state of water and power outages for a long time. After all, everyone has to make a living. So the owners of the community held several meetings in succession to discuss in depth the solution to the problem of property management fees. After many discussions, the owners decided to implement a 1-meter 1-household system, that is, each household installed an independent electricity meter, and paid the electricity bill according to how much they used at the power supply station. As for tap water, it cannot be separated, and the property management company still charges uniformly. After discussing it, they invited another property management company. After suffering enough from water and power outages, no one dared to default on water and electricity bills, and the community barely returned to normal. But now those arrogant car owners dared to insult the property management company in public. If they were scared away again, who would be the scapegoat? This is absolutely intolerable. So the owners who had been on the verge of exploding could no longer bear it and smashed the cars together, settling all the old and new grudges. Bang 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 tilder 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 tilder. The sound of hitting their hood, the sound of the windows being smashed, and the screams of the women and children in the car being scared and crying, the whole basement was in chaos. Some hot-tempered car owners lost their minds, roared, and stepped on the accelerator to the bottom. They thought they could scare these people away, but the result was counterproductive, and everyone's anger was completely ignited. So they smashed the cars harder, and many cars were even overturned on the spot. The car owners were dragged out one by one and pressed to the ground. Fuck. You're so great for having a car, right? You can burn as much gasoline as you want, right? I'll kick you to death, you idiot. Oh, stop it, or I'll call the police. Come on, try calling the police. Damn, I almost died of heat from you, you bastard. I'm fighting back in self-defense. What's wrong with me? Please stop it, I know I'm wrong. After more than 10 minutes of fighting, the car owners were completely defeated. Not only were the cars smashed, but people were also injured. The winners were happy, but the problem was that they had just exercised too much and were so hot that some people even fainted. What should we do now? If we don't save him, he might die. How to save him? The hospital is overcrowded now. We can't call an ambulance or the police. Even if we get through, they can't come. The ultraviolet rays are so strong that no one can stand it. Is there a doctor? Please help. Human life is at stake. After a commotion, a young and beautiful woman squeezed out of the crowd. Make way, everyone, make way. I'm a doctor. It's Dr. Zhang Yuan. Everyone, make way. Zhang Yuan is a top student who graduated from a medical university. She is beautiful and kind-hearted. She has fair skin, long legs, a tall figure, and a curvy figure. She is a perfect school beauty. Everyone, spread out a little to let the air circulate. Don't suffocate the patient. Hearing this, everyone spread out a little. Zhang Yuan squatted down to check the patient. The ravine on her chest was very eye-catching. A group of men swallowed their saliva secretly. She knew that she might have been exposed, but human life was at stake, so she couldn't care less now. Without any medical equipment, she could only use physical cooling methods. Excuse me, does anyone have alcohol or liquor? After asking several times, a big brother finally responded. I have, only a little left. The big brother took out a small half bottle of erguatu and handed it over. Thank you. Zhang Yuan applied erguatu to the patient's forehead, neck, chest, stomach and other places. The alcohol evaporated, and a cool feeling woke up the unconscious person. Hearing that it was Dr. Zhang Yuan and a big brother's erguatu who saved him, the patient thanked them profusely. But before Zhang Yuan could breathe a sigh of relief, several people at the scene fainted from the heat. Oh no, what should I do now? Zhang Yuan was so anxious that she didn't know what to do. She sent a message to the group for help, hoping that kind people could donate some alcohol. But now everyone realizes that alcohol or strong liquor can save lives, so no one is willing to take it out. Just when Zhang Yuan was about to despair, a piece of news made her eyes light up. Yang Shao, there are fire sprinklers in the underground garage. Can't we just light a fire and burn the fire alarm device? Yes. So everyone immediately took action and triggered the fire alarm device. The sprinklers above the garage started immediately, and the splashing water poured down, bringing a cool breeze. What happened here soon spread to other apartment buildings, and the owners followed suit and triggered the automatic fire extinguishing device. Soon, the underground garages of each apartment building burst into earth-shaking cheers. The girls were soaked, and their beautiful figures were undoubtedly revealed, which caused the men to howl like ghosts and wolves. The scene was even happier than the water-splashing festival. After finally waiting until the sun went down, many people went out with their families and divided into several groups to buy supplies everywhere. Chapter 18, Scheming Against a Best Friend. After waiting until the sun went down, many families went out in groups to buy supplies. Qian Chichi was hiding on the 2th floor licking ice cream when she suddenly received a message from her best friend Su Mi. Chichi, the dormitory is so hot, my roommates asked me if I could take them to your house to escape the heat. Seeing this message, Qian Chichi couldn't help but frown, feeling a little unhappy and a little panicked. This stupid woman, wouldn't she tell others about her hoarding of a large amount of supplies? Thinking of this possibility, she quickly replied to the message and tried, Mi, go to a place where there is no one first. I have something very important to ask you. After a while, Su Mi replied to her, okay, I'm locking myself in the bathroom now. If you have any questions, just ask quickly. I'm almost dying of heat. I ask you, have you told others that I bought a lot of supplies? No, how can I tell others that I did such a stupid thing with you? Isn't this a slap in my face? Seeing her reply like this, Qian Chichi breathed a sigh of relief, and then quickly replied, okay, since you didn't tell anyone about it, I agree to let you come. But you can only come alone. After all, I like quietness, you know. After sending the message, Qian Chichi immediately went to the medicine area to look for it. She remembered that she had bought some sleeping pills, and now they can finally come in handy. She will use them to deal with Su Mi later. This is not good. After all, the people in the dormitory are quite familiar with each other. Su Mi's saintly heart overflowed, and she felt that it was a bit too selfish to enjoy the happiness. But the villa belongs to Qian Chichi, and she can't make her own decisions. Qian Chichi curled her lips, thinking that you have a good relationship with them. What does it have to do with me, Qian Chichi? There's nothing wrong with it. Anyway, their hot summer will only last a few days. Let them turn on the air conditioner for a few days and it will pass. She herself was not confident when she said this. After all, the air conditioner is almost useless now, otherwise she would not hide in the basement to escape the heat. Well, then, I'll go there by myself. Su Mi finally had to give up her roommate and go to Qian Chichi's villa alone. As soon as she entered the door, Qian Chichi handed her a glass of fresh juice. Su Mi thanked her and drank it in one gulp, and was instantly revived. It's so cool, I'm finally revived. Qian Chichi smiled and said, okay, go take a shower quickly, look at you, you're all sweaty. Okay. Su Mi didn't doubt him and went to the bathroom happily. After taking a shower, the two sat in the living room on the floor and watched the news and chatted. As they chatted, Su Mi felt sleepy. I can't do it anymore. My eyelids are fighting. I'm going to sleep first. Su Mi yawned and walked into a guest room. Qian Chichi smiled evilly. After waiting for half an hour, she walked into Su Mi's room with a pair of shackles, locked her on the bed, and confiscated her mobile phone. It was very hot at night, with the indoor temperature reaching more than 50 degrees. Liu Ruyan was originally enjoying the air conditioning, but was suddenly turned off by Yang Shao, leaving only the fan. Why do you want to turn off the air conditioning? Liu Ruyan was puzzled, pouting, and very unhappy. Yang Shao explained, this temperature will become the norm in the future. We have to adapt to it in advance. After all, we can't stay in this villa for the rest of our lives. We have to go out. People who sit in the office and enjoy the air conditioning all year round know that in the hot summer, if you leave the air-conditioned room, it will instantly feel like walking into a sauna. Your whole body will be extremely hot and uncomfortable, and it is difficult to adapt. It is the end of the world with high temperature now, and this extreme environment will last for a long time. Since we can't change the environment, we should try to adapt to it. And he has a bold guess in his heart that he wants to confirm. So he decided to turn off the air conditioner for a while every night to slowly adapt to this high temperature. After listening to his explanation, Liu Ruyan sneered and gave him a sanitary eye, but didn't say anything. Fortunately, the temperature in the basement is much lower than that on the ground, and it can barely withstand it if the fan is turned on. Liu Ruyan got angry and licked the popsicle on the side, ignoring him. After 2 hours of staying indoors, even with the fan on, the two were still sweating all over. Liu Ruyan couldn't stand it anymore, so she simply jumped into the bathtub and took a comfortable bath. Yang Shao sat cross-legged. The old monk entered into meditation, and let the sweat all over his body remain indifferent. Feeling that it was almost okay, he turned on the air conditioner again. Then she walked into the bathroom. This woman, she didn't even make a sound while taking a shower, how unkind of her. On the third day of the apocalypse, the high temperature continued, with no sign of cooling down. The government issued an announcement that the national holiday will continue. Remind everyone to pay attention to sun protection and try not to go out during the day. At the same time, it is recommended that everyone store as much water as possible to prevent water shortages. Seeing the policy of continuing the holiday, some people are happy and some are worried. Some young people who have just entered the society are naturally very happy. They can go out at night or play games at home during the holiday. But for those social animals who are burdened with many debts such as car loans, mortgages, betrothal loans, childcare loans, and maintenance loans, it is terrible news. If they don't go to work, where will they get the money? How can they support a large family? This can't help but remind people of the 3 years of panic. For a time, many workers complained online, hoping that the country could introduce relevant policies to support those in need. For example, adjusting working hours to the evening, such as issuing minimum living allowances, etc. It was just that after the natural disaster 3 days ago, most factories and companies were burned down, and most of the supplies were gone. The country is now so busy that there are not enough people for disaster relief alone, and there is no time to deal with other things. And the community is not stable either. Many people don't have much surplus food at home, and some people have even run out of food. The basement has become a gathering place for the community. During the day, the gates are open to release water for collective cooling, and at night it is like a small market where owners take out the extra things at home to trade. After 3 days of staying at home, Liu Ruyan felt very bored and pestered Yang Shao to take her out for a walk. Yang Shao looked at the outdoor temperature, 48, which was still cool. Okay, remember to apply more sunscreen to protect against ultraviolet rays. Okay. Liu Ruyan was so happy that she helped Yang Shao to apply sunscreen all over her body, and then put on a veil and went out. As soon as she went out, she happened to meet Qian Chichi next door, and the three of them smiled at each other. Qian Chichi spoke first. What a coincidence. Liu Ruyan smiled and responded, yes, what a coincidence. It's so chaotic outside now. How can a girl like you go out alone? What if you meet a bad guy? In that case, I'll go with you. If I meet a bad guy, Brother Yang will protect me. Qian Chichi smiled and walked to Liu Ruyan, like a well-behaved sister. Yang Shao said nothing and took them to the nearest building 18. Chapter 19, The Cruel and Cruel Qian Chichi. Qian Chichi asked, Where are you planning to go? Liu Ruyan replied, I heard that there is a small market in the parking lot of each building in the community, so we went to take a look. What about you? I also went to the small market to see what good things there were. Are you going to trade too? Liu Ruyan was a little surprised and looked at the other person's bag curiously. It was bulging, as if it contained a lot of things. Har har, just try your luck. While chatting, the three of them had already arrived at the entrance to the basement of Building 18. There was a buzzing noise coming from below, and when I walked in, the scene looked like a country market. Many people were setting up stalls, selling all kinds of things. High-end thermos, imported product, starting price 888, now just a piece of bread or a sandwich. Super powerful insecticide, specially for killing cockroaches, mosquitoes and flies, only 2 loaves of bread. 6th ounce floral water, 1 bottle for 5 packs of instant noodles. 1 pack of cigarettes for 5 boxes of sausages and 5 boxes of instant noodles. Collection of Dragon Ball figures, if interested, please PM me. Many stall owners were shouting and fanning themselves with palm leaf fans in their hands. There was a large bottle of water beside them, and they would drink a sip when they were thirsty. There were many women strolling around dressed in cool clothes, but now everyone was too hot and irritable to think about anything else. However, Liu Ruyan and Chen Chichi are not only extremely beautiful in appearance, but also have very hot bodies, so they successfully attracted the attention of people around them. Many people whistled at them. A sturdy yellow-haired man with a middle-parted hair stopped Liu Ruyan's way and said in a frivolous tone, Hey, girl, how about playing with a pack of instant noodles once? Liu Ruyan was so angry that her face turned red. Before she could open her mouth to curse back, another strong man came over with a lewd smile on his face. He. For such a gorgeous girl, 1 packet of instant noodles won't be enough. I'll add a sausage. I'll give you 2 packs of instant noodles and a sausage, but I have 2 brothers who want to play together. Har har har. This chick is great too. Name your price and she'll go home with me tonight. Soon, a group of burly men surrounded them, looking at Liu Ruyan and Chen Chichi with greedy eyes. This group of people are the bullies and street thugs in the community. They usually do nothing and are idle. They specialize in petty thefts and are often taken to the police station for questioning. He usually talks a lot, and when he sees a beautiful woman he goes up to harass her, pesters her and acts like a scoundrel. He has become a veteran. In the past, the legal system was sound and they did not dare to take excessive actions. It's different now. No one cares and their lust is growing rapidly. Seeing that these thugs were about to take action, Liu Ruyan subconsciously hid behind Yang Shao, feeling a little nervous and frantically thinking about how to respond. Chen Chichi took a deep breath, adjusted his mentality, took out an exquisite crossbow from his bag, and glanced at these people with an unfriendly look. When the thugs saw the other side suddenly show their powerful weapons, they were immediately frightened and involuntarily took a few steps back. The yellow-haired guy with middle-parted hair smiled awkwardly, Har har, sister, don't be impulsive, we are just joking with you. Chen Chichi sneered, oh, then I'll play a joke on you and shoot an arrow at you, okay. No, brother, I admit my mistake. It's all my fault today, I am willing to apologize. Wang Mao was really scared. If the other party really shot an arrow at him, he would be seriously injured if not dead. In this period of drug shortage, serious injury means certain death. He didn't want to risk his life here. Chen Chichi raised his eyebrows and looked at the other gangsters. The others were also frightened and quickly admitted their mistakes and apologized. Chen Chichi sneered, why, is it all over with just an apology? Wang Mao asked tremblingly, then, what else do you want? You just offered instant noodles and sausages, right? If that's the case, then I'll compensate you according to your offer. This. Why, you think it's too little? No, we will compensate you. We will compensate you right away. A few gangsters reluctantly left behind the sausages and instant noodles and ran away in shame. Chen Chichi looked excited and happily took a bag to pack up the spoils. Liu Ruyan breathed a sigh of relief, tilder, I was scared to death just now, luckily Chichi is here. It's just a piece of cake. Chen Chichi smiled complacently. Fortunately, she had the foresight to bring out her weapon, otherwise it would have been dangerous tonight. Yang Shao suddenly asked, why didn't you shoot just now? It's so chaotic now, no one would care even if you killed someone, not to mention you were fighting back in self-defense. Chen Chichi rolled his eyes at him and said, "What are you thinking? This isn't a repeating crossbow. If I shoot one, what if the others come charging at me? You're pretty smart." Yang Shao looked at her meaningfully and felt that this girl was quite smart. "Hey, remember, you owe me a favor today." Chen Chichi shamelessly took credit for it. Yang Shao shrugged, "Okay." The three continued to stroll around and saw a beautiful woman selling bags at a stall in a corner. Chen Chichi walked over with anticipation on her face. Selling bags, new Chanel bags, limited edition donkey bags, big sale at a low price. Chen Chichi picked up a Chanel bag and asked, "Beauty, how much is this bag?" The beautiful woman smiled and said, "I spent 38,000 yuan to buy this bag. It's been less than 3 months and I haven't used it many times. If you want it, just give me 2 boxes of instant noodles." "What the hell? Don't you see what time it is? You still have 2 boxes of instant noodles. In a few days, they won't even be worth a pack." Chen Chichi looked unhappy, put down her bag and turned away. Hey, beautiful lady, don't go, the price is negotiable." The beautiful woman hurriedly called her. Chen Chichi stopped, turned around, and held up 2 fingers. 2 packs of instant noodles, if it works, it works. If not, forget it." The beautiful woman looked embarrassed. "This is too cheap. Why don't you pay more? I saved up several months' salary to buy this." Chen Chichi said firmly, "At most 1 more sausage, this is my bottom line." "Okay, deal." The beautiful woman had a painful look on her face. Although she was reluctant, her family had run out of food and she might starve to death if she didn't eat. After the two reached a deal, Chen Chichi was all smiles and was about to leave when the beautiful woman suddenly called her. "Beauty, wait a minute. I have a few bags here. Do you want to take a look and see if there is anything you like?" Chen Chichi took a quick look and found that they were all genuine products. The cheapest one had originally cost tens of thousands of yuan. Finally, she took out all the spoils she had just seized and bought all the beautiful women's bags. Yang Shao asked with a strange look on his face, "It's the end of the world, why do you need so many bags? You can't eat them." Chen Chichi said helplessly, "It's not that I want it, but there is a stubborn person at home, so I bought it to coax her." Hearing this, Yang Shao's expression became even weirder. Chapter 20, Parking Lot Massacre. After hanging around in the garage for a while, the 2 girls couldn't stand the heat anymore and wanted to go home. Yang Shao saw that they were sweating profusely and their faces were flushed, and they were indeed feeling uncomfortable due to the heat, so he nodded in agreement. Just as they were about to leave, a large group of people suddenly rushed in from the entrance, including a few thugs who had just been robbed. They were armed with steel pipes, machetes and other weapons and looted the parking lot without any explanation. The main targets are food and water, followed by useful things such as pesticides and toilet water. Some stall owners refused to compromise and tried to reason with them, but were beaten until their heads were bleeding and they were almost dying on the spot. The gangster said confidently, "We just want supplies, we don't want to hurt anyone, you better cooperate. Lawyer Zhang-san has said that it is not illegal to eat giant pandas now, we are just trying to avoid danger." Everyone was horrified by the brutal and bloody scene. They could only watch their belongings being snatched away, unable to say anything. "Take their women with you too. They don't have the ability to survive the apocalypse. We are just trying to help them." Many women suffered as a result. As long as they were young and good-looking, they could not escape his clutches. For a moment, cries and shouts for help echoed in the basement, it was so miserable. Suddenly, the yellow-haired man with middle-parted hair saw Chen Chichi and excitedly shouted to the leading strong man, "Brother Bao, look over there. They were the ones who just stole our supplies." After saying that, a group of people quickly surrounded Yang Shao and the other 2. When Brother Bao saw the beautiful Liu Ruyan and the youthful and pretty Chen Chichi, his eyes almost popped out. He couldn't help swallowing his saliva, with a lewd look on his face. God has been very kind to me, sending me 2 top-quality items. Congratulations, Brother Bao, you got the beauty. As expected of you, Brother Leopard. Even God is so kind to you." The younger brothers flattered Brother Leopard so much that he became complacent and enjoyed it very much. The yellow-haired man with middle-parted hair walked up to Chen Chichi with a lewd smile on his face. Little beauty, if you know what's best for you, just follow our Brother Leopard, otherwise don't blame us for being violent." Chen Chichi looked nervous, her body trembling, and she pointed her crossbow at Huang Mao. She mustered up the courage to threaten him, "If you are not afraid of death, come and see if you can block my arrows." The yellow-haired man was startled and quickly took a few steps back. "Get out of here, trash." Brother Bao kicked Wang Mao, walked out arrogantly and said to Qianchichi, "You only have one arrow, and we have dozens of brothers. Can you kill them all? I advise you to cooperate. Otherwise, if you anger me, I will tie you to the bed and let the brothers take turns to play with you. In the end, you want to be my woman or everyone's woman, you choose one." Qianchichi was under great pressure and was extremely frightened. She hid behind Yang Shao involuntarily like a frightened white rabbit. "Brother, what should we do now? They want to take me and Sister Ruyan away." Yang Shao touched her little head and comforted her, "Don't worry, I'm here." Seeing this, Brother Bao sneered, "Har har, you are just a young boy, you are really a newborn calf that is not afraid of a tiger. Do you know who I am, Brother Bao? When I was wandering around in the martial arts world, you were still a baby. Har har har. Little baby, have you stopped breastfeeding? Go home and get your milk." Yang Shao was not angry when he heard these taunts, because he was used to them in his previous life. But then again, he did plan to go home to breastfeed. Seeing that he remained silent, Brother Leopard thought he was scared and said proudly, "Boy, if you know what's good for you, send these two women over here. I can reluctantly accept you as my younger brother. If you behave well in the future, I can give you a chance to have close contact with one of them." Their words were not very hurtful, but they were extremely insulting, causing the younger brothers to laugh unscrupulously. Liu Ruyan tightly grasped Yang Shao's arm, her face pale and she dared not speak. Yang Shao smiled and said, "It's okay, just step back a few steps." Seeing his determined eyes and the confident look on his face, Liu Ruyan was a little confused, but did not ask any more questions. She pulled Qianchichi back a few steps. Their attention was entirely on Brother Leopard, and when they came to their senses, they found that Yang Shao was holding an AK-47 in his hand. Qianchichi exclaimed, "Oh my god, he actually has a gun. When did he bring it out? Why didn't I notice it?" Liu Ruyan was also dumbfounded. She and Yang Shao lived together day and night, but there was no such thing at home. And she touched his whole body before she went out. Where did she hide such a big gun? Brother Bao was frightened and quickly took a few steps back. He looked at Yang Shao in horror, swallowed his saliva, and pretended to be calm. Brother, calm down, let's talk it over. We were just joking with you just now." It was obvious at first glance that the thing was not a toy gun, and he didn't want to gamble his life on whether there were bullets in the gun. Yang Shao raised the corners of his mouth, revealing a playful smile. "Har har, then I'll play a joke on you too." Da 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 da. Deafening gunshots rang out in the garage, causing everyone to scream and run away in panic. Brother Leopard dodged in time and avoided fatal injuries, only being shot in the thigh. The few younger brothers behind him were not so lucky. They were killed on the spot with blood splattered within 5 steps. The other thugs didn't care about the spoils and ran away, their souls trembling. In a blink of an eye, the magazine was emptied. The yellow-haired man hiding behind the pillar felt that the opportunity had come, and with a loud roar, he rushed towards Yang Shao without hesitation. Brother Bao hid behind another pillar, holding his thigh which was bleeding profusely, and shouted loudly, "He has no bullets left, brothers, come together and kill him to avenge our dead brothers." Immediately, the gangsters hiding everywhere rushed over with bared fangs and claws. Yang Shao curled his lips, raised his leg and kicked towards the yellow-haired man, hitting him directly in the face. With a click, the yellow-haired man's head tilted back 90 degrees and he died with his eyes open. When other thugs arrived at the battlefield, Yang Shao had already changed the magazine. Da. After an unknown amount of time, the gunfire in the basement gradually subsided. Yang Shao searched around with his gun and shot a few thugs who were not yet dead. But there was no sign of Brother Leopard, only a long trail of blood on the ground. It seemed that he had escaped in the chaos. "Par, it's nothing. You're lucky today." Yang Shao curled his lips and returned to Liu Ruyan. The two girls were numb, like sculptures, motionless. Yang Shao stretched out his hand and waved it in front of Liu Ruyan to wake her up, and said with a smile, "What's wrong, are you scared?" The two girls came to their senses and saw the smoking AK in his hand. They trembled and took a few steps back reflexively. You. Qianchichi's voice was trembling, she was extremely frightened, her mind was blank, and she didn't know what to say. Chapter 21 Little Fangirl Qianqiqi. Liu Ruyan took a few deep breaths, adjusted her state, and asked carefully, "Are you okay?" Yang Shao felt warm in his heart and smiled, "I'm fine, they are the ones who are in trouble. There are corpses everywhere on the ground, it must be because they are in trouble." Seeing that Yang Shao could still communicate normally, Qianqiqi also breathed a sigh of relief. "You scared me to death, I thought you were possessed." "Don't worry, I'm sober. Let's go home and enjoy the air conditioning." Yang Shao glanced at the frightened owners, smiled contemptuously, and turned away. The women he had just rescued hid far away, as if they were afraid of being targeted by him. Qianqiqi was furious when he saw this, and shouted, "Do you guys still have any conscience? My brother just saved you. Not only did you not say a word of thanks, but you avoided him like a snake or scorpion. What's the logic?" Those who were rescued all blushed and lowered their heads in silence. "Forget it, let's go." Liu Ruyan pulled Qianqiqi away, not wanting to waste her expression here. On their way, Qianqiqi acted like a lackey, with a playful smile on his face, and used a small electric fan to cool Yang Shao down. The corners of Yang Shao's mouth twitched wildly, his heart was racing, and she made him completely lose his temper. "Miss, please stop torturing me. Just say what you want to say." Qianqiqi immediately puffed up her face and looked very unhappy. But the next second he changed back to a smiling face. Hey, good brother, can I touch your gun?" Yang Shao stopped and stared at Qianqiqi with a strange expression, and asked, "Are you sure?" "Aha!" Qianqiqi nodded seriously, her face full of anticipation. "Okay, you can touch it." Yang Shao spread out his hands, closed his eyes, and looked like he was ready to take advantage of you. "That's great, thank you brother." Qianqiqi was very excited and carefully stroked the AK in his hand. She likes all kinds of rifles and has many models at home, but unfortunately she doesn't have the real thing. After a long while, Yang Shao realized that no one was touching him and he opened his eyes in confusion. When he saw Qianqiqi happily playing with the AK, he finally realized that he had misunderstood her, and his face suddenly turned red. Okay, the radiation outside is too strong, let's go home quickly." Lao Yang put away his gun and left. Qianqiqi chased after him. Hey, don't leave so quickly, I haven't touched you enough." Liu Ruyan chuckled and quickly followed. When they returned to the doorstep of their home, Qianqiqi was reluctant to leave and looked back every few steps, but in the end, they all went back to their homes. Feeling very uncomfortable and sweating all over, Qianqiqi took a quick shower and felt much better. Then she picked up a bag and walked into the bedroom. Suemai had one hand cuffed and could only lie on the bed. When she saw Qianqiqi coming in, she immediately turned her head away angrily. Snort. Qianqiqi didn't care and walked over with a smile. "Baby Mimi, look what I brought back for you." "Humph, I won't watch." "Limited edition Hermes bag, are you sure you don't want it?" Suemai's eyes lit up, and her expression changed immediately. Her attitude changed 180 degrees. I want it, give it to me now." For her, brand name bags are half her life. You want it?" "Yeah, I want it." At this time, Suemai's resentment towards Qianqiqi had almost dissipated, and the only thing left in her eyes was the bag. Qianqiqi asked jokingly, "Are you still angry with me?" "Don't be angry anymore, give me the bag." Suemai is really not angry anymore. If she had a bag every day, she would be willing to be locked in bed for the rest of her life. "Then I'll give it to you." Qianqiqi handed her the bag, turned on the TV, went to the bathroom and fetched a basin of water. "Baby, let me wipe you off." "Aha!" At this moment, Suemai was immersed in the joy of the bag and had no time to care about anything else, so she let her do whatever she wanted. After a while, Qianqiqi carefully helped her wipe her body clean, then lay beside her and chatted with her. "Mi, let me tell you, that was really exciting just now." "Well, what happened?" At this time, Suemai's enthusiasm for bags had subsided a lot, and she could communicate normally. "There was a shooting in the underground parking lot just now. Many people were killed. Is this true or false?" Suemai obviously didn't quite believe it. Qianqiqi then vividly described to her the conflict that had just broken out in the garage and showed her some photos of the crime scene. She was so frightened that her face turned pale, her body trembled, and she struggled to get into Qianqiqi's arms, allowing her to do whatever she wanted. "Is it so lawless out there now? They openly shot so many people, and the police don't do anything." What the hell, the police can't even protect themselves. There are disaster victims and ruins everywhere. It's enough of a headache for them just to resettle the victims and do post-disaster reconstruction. It's not that exaggerated, right? What's wrong with this world? Suemai's face was full of disbelief, and she obviously hadn't faced the reality yet. Her world originally consisted only of brand-name bags, high-quality life, and the lofty ideal of marrying into a wealthy family. She never cared about national affairs. However, what happened in the past 2 days seemed to overturn her cognition, causing her CPU, which was already not working well, to almost smoke. Tianchichi said with a playful look on his face, "This world is in chaos. Do you know how much this bag costs? You would never have thought that it only costs a few packets of instant noodles." What? Suemai's face was filled with shock and she was completely dumbfounded. The seller's family has run out of food, and official aid has not yet arrived. In order to avoid starvation, what else can she do except sell her valuables at a low price? Suemai was stunned at first, then her eyes lit up and she said hurriedly, "What are you waiting for? We have so many instant noodles at home, go and exchange them for bags." Tianchichi rolled her eyes immediately. She didn't expect that her best friend still hadn't come to her senses. "Don't worry, they've all been changed back." "Really? That's great, Chichi, you're so nice." Suemai happily hugged her and kissed her. Tianchichi said proudly, "I'll see how you perform in the future. If you satisfy me, I'll reward you with a bag." "Okay, I'll listen to you." Suemai's face was full of smiles. The end of the world has nothing to do with her, as long as she has a designer bag. Tianchichi smiled bitterly. She knew that her best friend's brain wasn't working very well and she couldn't survive the apocalypse, so she imprisoned her. This way, he can accompany me without revealing the fact that I have a lot of supplies at home, so as to avoid trouble. Next door, after returning home, Liu Ruyan couldn't wait to run to the swimming pool in the backyard to take a bath. It's too hot outside, like a boiler room, it's cooler in the swimming pool. Yang Shao also jumped into the swimming pool, added a piece of ice, and said with a smile, "We agreed to take a bath together." Liu Ruyan rolled her eyes at him and said, "The swimming pool is so big, and they didn't stop you. Hey, how about we talk about going home to nurse? HMPH, why don't you talk about that shot? Didn't I tell you a long time ago? We purchased some arms from abroad 2 months ago." Real? Of course it's true. Chapter 22 Su Rui asks for help. The news that Yang Shao openly shot and killed so many people spread like wildfire in the community. Although some people explained the cause and effect, most people only cared about the fact that he killed someone and did not care about the reason. Many internal WeChat groups in the apartment buildings had heated discussions on this matter. No matter what terrible mistakes those bullies made, it's not a reason for Yang Shao to kill people openly. Yes, it's too cruel. He killed so many people because of a little conflict. Is he a devil? This kind of person is too dangerous. I really don't want to live in the same neighborhood with him. Have you called the police? Why hasn't anyone come to arrest him yet? Why call the police? No one answered the phone. No wonder he dares to act so arrogantly. It turns out he knew the police would be too busy to take care of him now. It looks like he's a repeat offender. I suggest checking him out when we get a chance. I have posted this tragic incident online, hoping to attract the attention of relevant departments. For a moment, everyone was discussing Yang Shao's cruelty, completely overshadowing the evil deeds of Brother Bao and his men. But no one dared to discuss it in the group, for fear of being noticed by Yang Shao. 2 days later, the murderer was still fine and the police did not come to arrest him. This caused dissatisfaction among many owners, but it also made a small number of people have different ideas. Building number 1, the apartment building where Yang Shao lived before the end of the world. At this time, there were many people gathered in the basement, and it looked like an illegal party. A middle-aged man who looked quite dignified stood on a car with a megaphone and shouted loudly, "Everyone, please be quiet and listen to me. I believe everyone has noticed that in the face of this unprecedented disaster, the authorities seem to be powerless to save the situation and have now fallen into anarchy. If we unite and gather into one force, can we make a difference in the end times?" When these words were spoken, everyone in the room was shocked. Everyone was shocked and confused, and talked about it. Someone asked loudly, "Liu Zheng, do you mean to rise up in rebellion?" Liu Zheng said with a smile, that's not what I meant. I mean, we can form a gang, take control of the entire community first, and then plan to attack the outside world. The meaning is very clear: first dominate the community, and then expand outward to become the boss of the area. We'll see how the situation develops in the future. If the government really collapses, they will establish their own regime. Seeing that everyone was wavering, Liu Jing continued to persuade them. Everyone has seen that Yang Shao has killed so many people, but no one has come to arrest him. What does this mean? It means that the authorities are powerless. I believe that many people are now planning to form forces. Time is life. In order to survive, everyone must race against time and seize the opportunity. Everyone lowered their heads and paused for a while, as if considering whether it was worth it. Seeing that everyone was ready to make a move, Liu Jing winked at a few of his accomplices. One of them understood what he meant and immediately stood up and said loudly, "Damn it, I'm risking my life. Boss Liu, you will be my boss from now on. I hope you can help me survive." Another supporter echoed loudly. Led by a few people, the cattle and horses agreed one after another. At this point, the gang in building number 1 was established and named Jingdao Hui. The first target of the Jingdao Society's plunder was the villa area. Regardless of whether they had stockpiled supplies, the cool basement and accompanying swimming pool alone were enough to attract people. At the same time, various small gangs were formed in other apartment buildings. Among them, Aunt Wang from the neighborhood committee became the decision maker of the apartment building. She recruited almost all the young people in the building into the neighborhood committee and used them for her own purposes. That night, Yang Shao was about to breastfeed when he was suddenly interrupted by the ringing of the phone. Liu Ruyan said with an unhappy look on her face, "Who is it? What a bummer." She secretly glanced at the caller ID and exclaimed, "Su Rui." Yang Shao was slightly surprised. "Do you know him?" "Of course, she lives on the floor above us and works at the sales office of our community. Since I'm a decorator, I went to the sales office to get to know her." "So, are you familiar with her?" Liu Ruyan gave him an unfriendly look. Yang Shao thought about it and didn't intend to hide it, so he nodded, "Yes, an acquaintance who knows everything about him." Then the call was connected. Liu Ruyan puffed up her face with anger and fell asleep, swearing that she would never give it to him tonight. "Hello, Miss Su, long time no see, why are you calling me suddenly?" "Young Master Yang, are you okay?" "Yeah, I'm fine, what can I do for you?" "I have something very important to tell you. A gang has been formed in our building number 1, called the Jingdao Society. They plan to attack the villa area in the early hours of tonight, and your villa is their main target." Hearing such exciting news, Yang Shao was a little surprised and excited. So scary. Do they still have any respect for the law? Su Rui rolled her eyes at this and said speechlessly, "Come on, you shot so many people in public and nothing happened, why would they care about the law? Aren't they afraid of the gun in my hand? They bet your gun is out of bullets. Har ha har ha, well, what a group of talented people. It's already this hour, and you're still laughing." Su Rui was extremely anxious and stamped her feet in anger. She was really worried about Yang Shao. After all, they had some unforgettable memories. Yang Shao understood her intention and comforted her, "Don't worry, I still have a lot of bullets in my gun, you know that." "Hate it, people are worried to death, and you are so worried that you still joke around." Su Rui blushed and couldn't help but fall into memories. The running under the sunset that day was her lost youth. "I'm not kidding you. I bought a lot of bullets. They are enough to deal with them." "Really?" Su Rui believed it a little. "Of course it's true, how could I lie to you?" "Then, can you let me move in?" Su Rui felt uneasy and waited anxiously for a reply. Yang Shao was stunned for a moment, and asked doubtfully, "Will your husband agree?" Su Rui said angrily, "Don't mention that bastard. He betrayed me a long time ago. On the night of the disaster, he used the excuse of going out to drink with friends, but he was actually fooling around with his mistress. Now he is still trapped in the hotel, he really deserves it." It turned out that her husband had been flirting with a new female college student in the company. Su Rui made nearly 3 million yuan from selling a villa that day. Her husband immediately used sweet words to cheat her out of 500,000 yuan, saying that he was investing with his friends, but actually he used the money to pick up girls. Her husband often came home late at night, with the smell of women's perfume and long hair on his body, which aroused Su Rui's suspicion. So she commissioned a private detective to follow him, and found out that the couple often went in and out of the Sunshine Rose Hotel. Not only did he buy bags and jewelry for the mistress, he also bought her a car worth more than 200,000 yuan. Su Rui was furious when she learned the truth. She had a quarrel with her husband and wanted to divorce him. As a result, her husband blamed her for not being considerate of him, left in anger, and stayed in a hotel with his mistress for a few days. As luck would have it, it's the end of the world. The ill-fated couple are trapped in the hotel and are now facing the crisis of running out of ammunition and food. Chapter 23: Siege of the Villa. Wow, even novels don't dare to write like this. Yang Shao just felt that Su Rui's experience was too magical and he didn't know what to say for a moment. Seeing that he remained silent, Su Rui choked up and said, "Do you dislike me too?" Yang Shao came back to his senses and comforted her. "How could that be? You are so beautiful, I dream of having you." "It's just." "Just what?" Su Rui was anxious. "It's just that there's a tigress living in my house right now. I have to get her approval, otherwise you guys will make a mess of our house every day." "Tigress? Didn't you say you were single?" Su Rui suddenly felt like she was betrayed and her heart ached. "I'm single. You also know this tigress. Her name is Liu Ruyan. Her situation is the same as yours. Ruyan Dad. How did you end up hanging out with this woman?" Su Rui's voice was quite loud. When Liu Ruyan heard this, she was immediately unhappy and snatched the phone and started yelling, "Who are Rui? What do you mean? What do you mean we're fooling around together? Ahem. Big D, don't get excited. That's not what I meant. What do you mean? Explain yourself now." Then the two women kept talking like machine guns, completely forgetting about their business. After an unknown amount of time, a shrill alarm sounded in the villa, interrupting the two women's chat. Liu Ruyan said nervously, "Oh no, someone attacked the villa." After all, she was the one who renovated the villa, so she naturally knew what the alarm meant. "It's okay, you guys continue chatting, I'll go out and send them off." Yang Shao comforted her, then put on his pajamas and walked out of the room. "I went to the second-floor balcony and turned on the searchlight, only to see that the outside of the villa was crowded with people, at least hundreds of them. They were smashing doors, and even Qianchichi's family next door was not spared." At this time, Qianchichi was also on the second-floor balcony, holding a crossbow in his hand, and was very nervous. There was already a person lying outside her door, who had obviously been shot. But this did not scare the crowd away, but instead aroused their anger, and everyone banged on the door even more frantically. Seeing the light on next door, Qianchichi breathed a sigh of relief and said pitifully, "Brother Yang, you finally came out, save me." Yang Shao smiled and said, "Is the crossbow in your hand just for show? Shoot them. Kill a few more and they will get scared." "Good." Yang Shao's appearance gave Qianchichi great courage. She was no longer afraid and started shooting at the crowd. The next second, screams rang out one after another, and the people besieging the gate fled in panic. Seeing that this trick really worked, Qianchichi couldn't help but say smugly, "Har har, a bunch of cowards who are greedy for life and afraid of death. If I had known that it was so easy to deal with, why would I waste my words on you?" When these people came to break down the door just now, she tried to reason with them, but they ended up fighting back with their fists. In a panic, she shot and killed someone, which aroused public anger. Everyone was banging on the door and yelling for her to pay with her life, which made her very anxious. It seems that it is better to be a female devil who kills without blinking an eye, otherwise she and Su Mi will suffer tonight. Seeing that Qianchichi had gone crazy and killed people, everyone dared not attack her villa anymore, so they had to change their target and rob other villas. The other villas had low walls and thin doors, so they were easily conquered. Soon, the sleeping owner of the villa was awakened. Kill the men and keep the women for fun. The thugs dragged the women in the villa into the swimming pool to get double the pleasure. The outer wall of Yang Shao's house is tall and thick, and the gate has also been specially modified to be as solid as a rock. Because of this, everyone thought that he must have a lot of food hidden in his house. Although he said he donated 15 billion in supplies, everyone thought he must have kept a lot privately. As long as we hold this villa, we can survive. Liu Jing knocked on the iron door with an iron rod and shouted in the air like an elder, Yang Shao, we know you must have a lot of supplies at home. Now is a critical moment, and we are all neighbors. I hope you can be merciful and share the supplies with everyone so that everyone can survive. Yeah, you don't want to watch everyone starve to death, right? People should have a conscience and not be too selfish. Please open the door and let us in. Everyone will remember your kindness and take credit for it when the disaster is over. Saving a life is better than building a 7-story pagoda. Moreover, you have saved so many people, your merits are immeasurable. A bunch of evil spirits tried their best to deceive Yang Shao, hoping that he would not be ungrateful. Qian Shiqi shouted anxiously, "Brother Yang, don't listen to them. These people are the worst. If you let them in, they will definitely kill you and then treat Sister Ruyan as a plaything." Yang Shao smiled without saying anything, and silently took out his AK-47 and pointed it at the crowd outside. The thugs were startled and retreated one after another. Liu Jin mustered up his courage and took a step forward, saying boldly, "Yang Shao, I advise you to calm down. Although you have a gun, you have limited bullets. And there are so many of us, can you kill them all? Once you run out of bullets, how are you going to withstand everyone's wrath of revenge? Yer, calm down. We just want food, and we promise not to hurt anyone. Yang Shao, please have pity on us. We will remember your kindness forever." Everyone was trying to persuade him kindly, hoping that he would donate generously, make selfless contributions, and not care about personal gains and losses. Yang Shao smiled and put away the AK. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief, thinking they had fooled this idiot. Liu Jin raised his lips and winked at his men. As soon as Yang Shao opened the door, they would rush over to kill him, take his gun, and take all his supplies and women for themselves. However, the next second, everyone showed a look of horror. Yang Shao picked up a Hitler chainsaw and placed it on the fence. Without waiting for the men to speak, he pulled the trigger. Da. For a moment, blood flowed like a river outside the door, corpses were everywhere, and screams and cries were earth-shaking. Those who reacted quickly hid under the walls on both sides and survived by chance. Those who were slow to react were riddled with bullets and died on the spot. After a long while, the gunfire stopped. Yang Shao laughed loudly and said, "I'll teach you a lesson tonight. If you dare to harass me again, don't blame me for being ruthless." Everyone was secretly complaining in their hearts, "You have killed so many people, aren't you cruel and ruthless? Now pick up the rotten meat on the ground and get out of here." Upon hearing this, the thugs acted as if they had been pardoned and quickly carried the body away. After everyone left, Yang Shao pumped some fresh water from the space to rinse the floor clean, and everything returned to normal. Qian Shiqi poked half of her head out to look outside, and when she found that everyone had left, she immediately breathed a sigh of relief. "Hutilder, I'm so scared. Brother, why do you have a machine gun? It was given to me by a friend from abroad. It's getting late, you should go to bed early. Remember to call me if you have anything." "Yer, I will." Chapter 24. Pick up Su Rui. After Qian Shiqi returned to the basement, he quickly went to the bathroom to wash up. Although the basement has good sound insulation, the noise just now was too loud, so Su Mi also heard some of it. Seeing Qian Shiqi climb into bed after taking a shower, she hurriedly asked, "Shiqi, what happened outside just now? Why is it so noisy?" Qian Shiqi took a deep breath, calmed down, and then explained, "Just now a group of thugs were smashing our door and trying to break into our house and rob us." Su Mi was shocked. "What? This is too crazy. Aren't they afraid of going to jail? And what are the officials for? Can they still do their job? If they can't do it, they should replace them as soon as possible." Qian Shiqi looked at her like an idiot, speechless. It's already this time, the government can't even protect itself, how can they care about these things? If the authorities don't care, what will happen if they come again in the future? Su Mi was extremely anxious. Qian Shiqi rolled her eyes and thought to herself that she was just complaining about the official's poor performance, and now she is afraid of losing him. What a scumbag. "Don't worry, I just shot a few people dead with arrows. I scared them away. They won't dare to come again." "What? You killed someone?" Su Mi looked panicked and involuntarily distanced herself from her eyes filled with fear. Qian Shiqi glared at her and gave her a slap on the head. "What are you afraid of? I'm not a man-eating devil. I was acting in self-defense. They wanted to break into the house and rob us. Couldn't I resist? Think about it, if they really broke in, not only would our supplies be robbed, but we would also become their playthings. Do you want that?" "No." Su Mi shook her head frantically. That's right, so I was forced to kill in order to protect us and our supplies, do you understand? Su Mi nodded. She could still understand such a simple and easy to understand principle. But, what if they come back for revenge? If they come prepared, can you stop them? Without waiting for Chen Chichi to answer, Su Mi continued, how about this, they just want supplies, then you can give them some supplies as an apology. They should be embarrassed to bother us again after taking your things, right? Hearing this, Chen Chichi's face suddenly turned pale, and he said to her seriously, Su Mi, I warn you, it's best to abandon such a stupid idea. Once they know that we have a lot of supplies here, they will gather more people to attack us. Starving people are more terrible than wild beasts, and they can do anything. She couldn't help but secretly feel fortunate that she had designed a plan to imprison this Holy Mother White Lotus and isolate her from the outside world, otherwise God knows what stupid things she would do. Send supplies to the enemy to appease their anger and buy peace? Isn't this what those cowards of the weak Song dynasty did? This stupid bestie must be still living 1,000 years ago. When Su Mi saw Chen Chichi's serious attitude for the first time, she couldn't help but feel a little scared and nodded weakly to show that she understood. Then Chen Chichi talked about how the neighbors were besieged by hundreds of people just now, but Yang Shao carried a machine gun and started killing people. This completely overturned Su Mi's worldview and caused her already failing brain to completely shut down. On the other side, Yang Shao returned to the basement and was about to take a shower when Liu Ruyan suddenly called him. Hubby, don't wash yet. Take Hua Rui over first, so she won't be frightened at home alone. What the hell? Yang Shao was stunned and didn't react. Liu Ruyan rolled her eyes at him and said angrily, after all, you did that with her, shouldn't you be responsible for her? No, should I be responsible for her? Yang Shao couldn't understand why he helped Su Rui earn nearly 3 million with just one shot. Wasn't that enough? What's more, she is someone else's wife, so how can I be responsible for this? Liu Ruyan glared at him and said, just tell me whether you want it or not. Yang Shao shrugged, okay, since you are so kind, I will run the trip for you. After saying that, he went out humming a little tune. Such a top-notch young woman, who is in no way inferior to Liu Ruyan, how could he not want her? Liu Ruyan curled her lips and looked resentful. She was originally reluctant to share a man with others, but when she thought of Su Rui's highly similar experiences to hers, she softened her heart. And from another perspective, she needs Su Rui, who is also a wife, to strengthen her camp. Otherwise, if Yang Shao brings back an innocent girl in the future, her situation will be very embarrassing. Humph, that bastard got a bargain. The villa area is a bit far from building number 1. Yang Shao was too lazy to walk, so he took the modified car out of the space. The tracked Mengsha 3 is higher, thicker, longer, and heat insulated, and is very cool. Arriving at the bottom of a building, Yang Shao took out his access card to open the door of the apartment building, and took the elevator directly to the floor where Su Rui was. As soon as I got out of the elevator, I saw 2 sneaky men at Su Rui's door. One was suspected to be unlocking the door, and the other was suspected to be keeping watch. Hey! Yang Shao roared. The 2 were so frightened that they almost had a heart attack. The man who was on guard glared at Yang Shao fiercely, raised the iron rod in his hand and threatened, you little bastard, you have nothing to do here, get out of here if you know what's good for you. Yang Shao grinned, no, everyone who sees it gets a share. If you don't take me with you, I will call for help. You? Okay, I'll give you a share today, since you're so cruel. In order to avoid complications, the 2 had to compromise. Yang Shao asked with a smile on his face, can you tell me now, what are you doing? Hush Tilder, keep your voice down. I'm telling you, there's a very pretty girl living in this house. Her looks and figure are simply top-notch. We've been secretly observing her for several days. Her husband is not at home, and the world is so chaotic right now. This is a good opportunity to make a move. You're lucky today, you must thank us later. The locksmith turned around and looked at Yang Shao, grinning, hey, I have done the most, I'll go first later. You are just a lucky guy, it will be your turn when we have had enough fun. Yang Shao raised the corners of his mouth, with a joking look on his face, you are really good people, but I like to eat alone, so the woman inside belongs to me. The man who was on guard suddenly had a gloomy face and fierce eyes. He raised the iron rod and walked towards Yang Shao, boy, since you are looking for death, you can't blame us. Go to hell. The iron rod was raised high and was about to be smashed down when Yang Shao sneered and a tang sword appeared in his hand. There was a flash of cold light, and the iron rod stopped in mid-air, and the man who was on guard seemed to have pressed the pause button. After a few seconds, a blood mark appeared on the throat, and then blood spurted out. The man covered his throat, which was bubbling with blood, and fell to the ground, struggling desperately. The locksmith felt something unusual, and when he reacted, a sharp knife protruded from his chest, and he died with his eyes open. Chapter 25. A short separation makes you happy. Yang Shao's arrival made Su Rui overjoyed and ecstatic. She ignored the heat and the sweat all over her body and threw herself into his arms, hugging him tightly. "You're finally here. I missed you so much." Ever since she sold the house that day, she has been thinking about Yang Shao. The indoor temperature is very high, the air conditioner has lost its effect, and the fan blows out hot air. But the two didn't care. When love is strong, you can't help it. 3 times 5 divided by 2. After staying at Su Rui's house for an hour, both of them were sweating profusely. Contented. After taking a shower, Su Rui packed up all the food at home, filling up a suitcase, then left, taking Yang Shao's arm. Because she made a lot of money from selling the house, Su Rui indulged herself and bought a lot of snacks that she usually couldn't afford. That's why she has been able to survive until now. Su Rui was shocked to find that the modified car was spacious, sturdy and cool, and she was even more pleasantly surprised by the renovated villa. "Wow, their house is so cool. I didn't expect you to be so amazing. Not only did you modify your car to be suitable for extremely hot climates, but you also turned your villa into a doomsday fortress. She will be so blessed in the future, being able to live here. She feels like she can wake up with a smile in her dreams." Hearing the noise, Liu Ruyan came out wrapped in pajamas. The two women looked at each other. There was a bit of tension, but in the end they just smiled at each other. "Welcome." Liu Ruyan was the first to break the silence. "Thanks." Sui responded with a smile. "Let me take you to choose a room." Liu Ruyan walked over and helped pull a suitcase. "Okay." Su Rui glanced at Yang Shao, then followed Liu Ruyan, pulling another suitcase. "Your suitcase is quite heavy. Is it filled with clothes?" "Well, your suitcase is full of snacks and drinks." "Yeah, I like snacks, too." "That's a coincidence. Let's eat together later." "Okay." The two women were talking and laughing, completely ignoring the protagonist. Yang Shao was speechless for a while, then turned around and went to take a shower. "This damn weather is so hot. I sweat all over after staying outside for a while. I feel uncomfortable if I don't take a shower." By the next morning, the battle was over. Except for the villas of Yang Shao and Tianqiqi, all other villas have changed hands. The neighborhood committee director also grabbed a villa and moved in with his family, moving straight to the second underground floor. Because of their hatred of the rich, almost all the original villa owners suffered inhuman abuse, ended up miserably, and did not have a good end. The news that Yang Shao indiscriminately shot owners with a machine gun also spread, causing great panic, and the owners expressed their opinions in the group. "I was at the scene last night. If I hadn't been standing far enough away, I would have been beaten to death on the spot." "Who says it's not true?" "A young man from my neighbor's house was standing right in the middle of the gate. He was a pretty good guy, but unfortunately he was beaten to death on the spot. His death was so tragic. Yang Shao is such a piece of shit. I just wanted to ask him for some food, so why would he go on a killing spree? Isn't the point that he has a machine gun? If he had a rifle I could accept it, but now he has a machine gun too. I just can't fucking understand it. Yeah, where did he get the killer weapon?" Everyone was willing to accept the defeat and condemn Yang Shao openly and secretly, criticizing him verbally and in writing. Seeing that the mass base was so broad, Liu Jing sent a message to stir up trouble. "Everyone, please listen to me. Yang Shao is a murderous person. Relying on the gun in his hand, this is the second time he has wantonly killed innocent people. The first time was in the basement of Building 18, where he killed more than a dozen innocent people with an AK and stole a lot of supplies. Last night, he opened fire again because of some quarrels, resulting in the tragic deaths of more than 20 innocent owners. This kind of big devil who kills without blinking, and I should not live in this world. We should unite and eliminate him together." Brother Bao, who was injured earlier, saw these group messages and couldn't wait to join in the fun. "Yes, I can prove it. That night, a group of friends and I went to hang out in the basement of Building 18 and met Yang Shao. As a result, just because I looked at his female companion for a second longer, he pulled out a gun and shot at us indiscriminately. I was shot in the thigh and am still recovering at home, but more than a dozen brothers died innocently. This damn Yang Shao, he is not a human, he is a devil. We must unite to eliminate him, otherwise he will kill us all sooner or later. Then Brother Bao asked his subordinates to come out and testify to prove that it was Yang Shao who killed innocent people that night. However, none of the women who were rescued by Yang Shao that night dared to come forward to refute the rumors for fear of getting into trouble. Seeing that so many people were denouncing Yang Shao for the crime of killing innocent people, those who had originally been watching the show became anxious. You can have a gun and kill others, but you can't kill innocent people. What if you accidentally hurt me one day? Driven by the instigation of some people with ulterior motives, fear quickly spread throughout the community. Almost everyone reached a consensus that Yang Shao must be killed first, otherwise they would not be able to rest assured in their fight for territory. So the bosses of the major gangs met privately and held a meeting to discuss how to deal with Yang Shao. At the suggestion of the neighborhood committee director, they decided to let the elderly, the weak, the sick, the disabled and the pregnant first, using moral blackmail on Yang Shao. If Yang Shao feels guilty and has to open the door, that would be the best. We can then execute him publicly. If he is unwilling to surrender, then let the old, weak, sick, disabled and pregnant women attack the gate and use their flesh to create a gap. If he dares to shoot and kill these people, it will inevitably cause public outrage. Let's see how he can withstand the anger of the owners then. I have to say that the neighborhood committee director's plan was extremely vicious. Anyone with a conscience probably wouldn't have the heart to kill the elderly, the weak, the sick, the disabled, and pregnant women, otherwise they would be awakened by nightmares in the middle of the night. The battle plan was approved, and all the bosses went back to actively prepare for battle. In the evening, after dinner, Yang Shao and the other two sat together to play landlord and had a lot of fun. Liu Ruyan calls the landlord every time, even if she is lazy. So after losing a few games in a row, only Pansai was left. She was very happy to lose, but she looked angry on the surface. Su Rui saw through her little trick and followed her example, also trying her best to call herself landlord and lose. Yang Shao realized it later and was overjoyed. Just as he was about to cooperate actively, there was a sudden noise outside the house. The three of them were stunned and stopped what they were doing. Yang Shao turned on the surveillance camera and saw a huge crowd of people outside the house, estimated to be thousands of them. The corners of his mouth twitched slightly and his expression looked a little ugly. Liu Ruyan and Su Rui were both terrified. Their bodies trembled, their faces turned pale, and they held his hands tightly. What happened? What do they want to do? Yang Shao said calmly, I don't know. If the enemy comes, we will fight him. If the water comes, we will block it with earth. You guys hide in the basement, I will go and send them away. Liu Ruyan shook her head and said firmly, no, I want to face it with you. Su Rui did not hesitate, and I am willing to accompany you no matter it is a mountain of swords or a sea of fire. In that case, follow me to the second floor balcony. Yang Shao smiled slightly and pulled them upstairs. Chapter 26, Returning from a Defeat. Outside the gate of the villa, a group of old, weak, sick, disabled and pregnant women were blocking the front. They all looked pitiful and begged Yang Shao to give them something to eat. Please, please, my child hasn't eaten for 2 days. Please have mercy on me. My child is only 2 months old. He is so hungry and I have no milk to feed him. Neither he nor I can survive. I'm 8 months pregnant and I'm so hungry that I can hardly stand up. Please help me. Uncle, please give us something to eat. My parents are sunburned and there is nothing to eat at home. Please save my granddaughter. As long as you give her something to eat, I am willing to work like a slave for you. A group of old, weak, women and children were there, begging for sympathy. Anyone with a conscience would feel sympathy for them. Liu Ruyan and Su Rui showed pain on their faces. Women are easily soft-hearted and can't stand seeing such tragic scenes. Yang Shao waved his hand and said calmly, you are not suitable for this kind of situation. Go to the basement. That's okay. The two looked at each other, smiled bitterly, and had to obey the arrangement. They know that they are too soft-hearted and staying here will only hinder them, so they might as well choose to avoid it, out of sight, out of mind. The troublesome people left, and Yang Shao looked at the crowd below with a smile, silently calculating in his mind how to catch them all in one fell swoop. Pity? Mercy? Conscience? Does not exist. Liu Jing hid behind the elderly, weak women and children and shouted, Yang Shao, the people standing in front of you are all pitiful elderly, weak women and children. They all rely on you to survive. Can you bear to watch them die without saving them? Your family must have a lot of supplies. It's not too much to give some to help them, right? Yes, if you still have a conscience, then open the door and give them some food. We are all neighbors. We will see each other every day. You can't just ignore them. Don't worry, we promise not to go in and we won't do anything to you. Faced with the moral blackmail of the crowd, Yang Shao grinned, then turned around and went into the house to carry out a box. Everyone's eyes lit up, thinking that their plan had worked, and they were ready to rush in and cut him into pieces. But the next second they were dumbfounded. Yang Shao took out a grenade from the box, pulled the safety, and threw it directly into the crowd behind. Boom! There was a loud bang and everyone was frightened out of their wits and ran away in panic. Sarilang. Boom 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 tilde tilde tilde. How could this bastard have a grenade? This is terrifying. Nima, what should we do now? Should we force our way in? You're going to get paralyzed if you force your way in. Come on if you dare. The leaders of several gangs hid at the foot of the wall, huddled together, discussing tactics under enemy fire, but they never finalized an attack plan. After a round of bombing, everyone hid and Yang Shao stopped. There were a large number of corpses lying on the ground, blood was flowing like a river, and cries and screams filled the night sky. Yang Shao shouted through a loudspeaker, "How dare you, a bunch of bandits, come to blackmail me morally? You really don't know what you are talking about." Liu Jing hid in the corner and retorted loudly, "Yang Shao, stop complaining to the Avildor. We just wanted you to save the elderly, the weak, the women and the children, but you threw bombs at us and now you are slandering us as bad people. You are not a human being. TSK, you guys obviously want to rob my house, my supplies, and my woman, and I can't fight back. I advise you to find another way to make a living, it won't work here." "Humph, I don't believe it. Your ammunition will run out one day. Then just wait and see. Anyway, I have no worries about food and clothing, and I have girls everywhere. Let's see who is anxious." Liu Jing's face turned pale, and he was furious. "This is too much. Just wait for me, sooner or later, I will make you kneel before me and beg for mercy. Let's go." A group of people surrounded the villa with great fanfare, but now they were fleeing in disgrace, which made Yang Shao want to laugh. "Hey, take all the rotten meat off the ground, or I won't show mercy next time." Hearing these heartbreaking words, the bosses were furious, but they still did as they were told. "Take it back and pickle it with salt first, maybe it can be used later." Some women with ideas looked back every few steps, reluctant to leave, and seemed very eager to live in the villa. I used to think that Yang Shao was a big bad guy, so I listened to the instigation of others and joined in plotting against him. Now that I have witnessed with my own eyes his decisiveness and ruthlessness, as well as his powerful firepower, I suddenly feel safe again. If I could be his woman and live comfortably in this doomsday, what does it matter if I bear the infamy? It's a pity that all this is just a pipe dream, because Yang Shao doesn't think highly of them at all. After tonight's crushing defeat, the owners realized that Yang Shao was a ruthless character. I can't afford to offend him, so I can only take a detic. So now no one dares to discuss Yang Shao's affairs in the owners group, for fear of being hated by him. Since we can't touch Yang Shao, we can only expand outward. Zhu Dexing, the person in charge of building number 4, is a university teacher. He is usually kind to others, respects the elderly and loves the young, and has a good reputation. He firmly believed that the disaster would eventually pass, so he called on the owners of the entire building to carry forward the spirit of respecting the elderly and loving the young, helping each other, and taking out the surplus food at home to help those in need, giving priority to caring for the elderly and children. At the same time, he also called on young and strong men to go out together to search for supplies, to work together and overcome the difficulties. So that night, the men in building number 4 divided into several teams and went out to look for supplies. It was not until dawn, before the sun came out, that the men finally returned with a small amount of supplies. In line with the traditional virtue of respecting the elderly and loving the young, Zhu Dexing allowed the elderly, the weak, women and children to receive supplies first. The old man and the woman were so grateful that they almost kowtowed to him to express their gratitude. However, due to limited supplies, some young and middle-aged people who were involved in the search for supplies were unable to receive them and complained on the spot. In order to appease people's hearts, Zhu Dexing resolutely gave them his share, and also took out some supplies from his home to subsidize those people. He also tirelessly encouraged everyone to stick to their original intentions, strive for self-improvement, and save themselves while waiting for rescue. Although everyone is a little discouraged and feels that the authorities are unlikely to send a rescue team, after all, the world is in chaos now. But now they have no other way to survive, so they can only force themselves to eat this big pie. The news that supplies had been successfully recovered from building number 4 spread quickly, and the leaders of other gangs began to make their own plans. Some planned to follow suit and form a supply search team to go out and look for supplies every night. Some also planned to secretly follow the people in building number 4, and rush over to grab the supplies as soon as they found them. There is also a leader who plans to take a different approach. He plans to mobilize all his subordinates to rob building number 4 when they go out to look for supplies. Anyway, building number 4 still adheres to the moral bottom line, so they are not wrong. They just want to survive. What's wrong with them? Chapter 27, Mr. Zhu. For several days in a row, people in the community went out at night to search for supplies. At the beginning, some supplies could still be found, but as time went on, the supplies became less and less. People often fought in groups for a few supplies, and many people were injured. At the same time, due to excessive ultraviolet rays, many people's skin was burned and they suffered unbearable pain. The supply outside has dropped sharply and the risk has increased greatly. As a result, the number of people going out to look for supplies suddenly decreased a lot. If no one goes out to look for supplies, then we can only waste memory and watch the supplies decrease little by little. Building number 4 undoubtedly had the most supplies, so the decision makers of the other apartment buildings held a private meeting and unanimously decided to join forces to take over building number 4 and divide the supplies. As for what to do with those people, the neighborhood committee director gave a very appropriate solution. That is, the old, the weak, the sick, the disabled and the pregnant were all killed, the men were taken to be used as beasts of burden, and the young women were used as rewards to capable subordinates. The proposal was passed unanimously at the meeting and everyone was very happy. Although the meeting was held in secret, there is no wall that is impenetrable, and the news was accidentally leaked out and happened to reach the ears of Wang Jie, one of Zhu Dexing's right-hand men. Wang Jie was extremely anxious and didn't know what to do. His wife saw that he was worried and asked him why. He did not hide the news and told his wife that other buildings were going to attack building number 4 to divide the supplies. The matter was of great importance, so his wife suggested that he discuss it with Zhu Dexing, so he called Zhu Dexing and told him about it. The two chatted for a long time, but had a disagreement on the issue of respecting the elderly and loving the young, and finally parted unhappily. Zhu Dexing was extremely anxious and paced back and forth at home. His wife was distracted by his shaking and asked impatiently, "What are you doing?" "Alas, Aji got the news that other units are preparing to attack our building number 4 together and divide up our supplies." "What? How could they do this? Why do they steal our supplies?" "Husband, this must be stopped, otherwise the community will be in even more chaos in the future." Zhu Dexing smiled helplessly and said, "Stop it, how can I stop it? Do you know what those young people say about me now? They say I am a saint, that I am too soft-hearted, and that I shouldn't distribute supplies to the elderly and children. Is it wrong for me to respect the elderly and love the young? Shouldn't they, the young people, help the disadvantaged groups?" His wife comforted him, "Don't be sad, husband. You are right. It's just that they can't reach your level of thinking, so they can't understand you." Har har, not only do they not understand, but they give up on themselves and even abandon the bottom line of being a human being. Do you know that some women are now secretly engaging in the flesh trade, buying a pack of instant noodles at a time? Their husband is responsible for soliciting customers and helping to keep watch at the door. They are so immoral and shameless that they can do such things. They are simply not worthy of being human. How could they do this? Are they worthy of your efforts? No, husband, this must be stopped. Har har, how can I stop them? Zhu Yu is beating Huang Gari. They are willing to do this. Can I block their door and stop them from doing it? Zhu Dexing felt a little discouraged and felt that all his efforts these days were in vain. After a long silence, he finally decided to go talk to Huang Jie in person and try to get him to fully support him again. So I picked up the only pack of instant noodles left in the house and prepared to go out. His wife quickly stopped him and asked loudly, "Where are you going, husband?" "I'm going to discuss things with Edgy." "Do you need to get some instant noodles when you go find Edgy?" In the past, we would bring fruit or other gifts when visiting relatives. Now it is reasonable to bring instant noodles, right? But this is the only pack of instant noodles we have left. If you take it away, what will we eat? Zhu Dexing collapsed immediately and shouted, "What do you want me to do? I want to talk business with others empty-handed. Do you know how hard it is for me? I used to be overwhelmed by the pressure of mortgage and car loans. I also have to deal with the intrigues in the workplace and serve my leaders carefully. It's really tiring." When the end of the world came, I felt relieved. I thought I could finally relax. But I found out that I was wrong. I couldn't relax because I still had to work hard for this family. If I slack off, what would you and your daughter eat? In the past, I was just being exploited, but I could get through it by gritting my teeth. Now it's different. If I don't desperately look for food, I will really die. After yelling like this, Zhu Dexing seemed to have vented a lot of negative emotions, and he slammed the door and walked out with his instant noodles. A beautiful girl walked out of the room. It was Zhu Dexing's daughter Zhu Pei. She walked carefully to her mother and comforted her. "Mom, don't take it to heart, Dad is just under too much pressure." The woman choked up and said, "I know, but we've lost our last pack of instant noodles. What are you going to do next?" Zhu Pei smiled and said, "It's okay. I believe there is always a way out. If there's no food, we can go out and look for it. You kid, are." Zhu Dexing went to look for Huang Jie and met an old lady by chance. When the old lady saw the instant noodles in his hand, her eyes suddenly lit up. She stopped him and said with a smile, "It turns out to be Teacher Zhu. Thank you for your hard work, you came to bring me supplies so late at night." Zhu Dexing subconsciously hid the instant noodles behind him. "This is not for you." The old lady was immediately unhappy and asked sternly, "What? It's not for me. Didn't you distribute the supplies equally? Then this pack of instant noodles should include a portion for me." Zhu Dexing said seriously, "Your supplies have been distributed to you. This bag is not yours." Seeing his firm attitude, the old lady knew there was no hope, and immediately curled her lips in disdain. "TSK, you talk as if I'm precious, I still have several boxes of instant noodles at home." Realizing that she had let the cat out of the bag, the old lady quickly covered her mouth. "What did you say? You still have several boxes of instant noodles at home?" Zhu Dexing was shocked. No, you heard me wrong. What boxes of instant noodles? They are just empty boxes." The old lady felt guilty and ran back home quickly, slamming the door. Zhu Dexing, with an ugly face and mixed emotions, continued to look for Huang Jie. When he arrived at Huang Jie's house, he said straight to the point, "Aji, help me again. As long as you support me, our building number 4 will not be in chaos." Huang Jie shook his head and said helplessly, "Brother Xing, wake up, the world is in chaos. No matter how hard you try, you can't go back to the past. Everyone just wants to fill their stomachs and don't care about anything else." Zhu Dexing argued, "But you can't lose your bottom line as a human being." Huang Jie smiled bitterly and said, "Can the bottom line fill people's stomachs? No. You know, my mother died last night. I killed her with my own hands.